Chapter 1379 10 Great Territory Ancestors. Chapter 1379 10 Great Territory Ancestors. Under Dragon Lizard Star. In the middle of the well-lit palace underground, many members of the Earth Ghoul tribe were operating. Members of this tribe had green faces and yellow fangs, which made them more like demons. They lived underground year-round, and they hated light. Thus, their features were dark and sinister with bloodthirsty deeds. The members of the Earth Ghoul tribe were really short. They were as tall as 10-year-old human kids. However, their bodies were tough and full of coldine. Most of their power, Upanishads, were malicious. Currently, an incipient God Realm Earth Ghoul expert ran to this palace, where the Dragon Lizard clan accommodated the Earth Ghoul tribe. He met the leader of the tribe coming here this time. He screamed excitedly, "Sir Bargo, I have good news. It's very useful for you." Inside the palace, Bargo of the Earth Ghoul tribe at Second Sky of Immortal Realm was the head of their delegation to the Dragon Lizard clan this time. He was one of the hotshots under the forefather of the tribe. Bargo's eyes were white-gray, and it gave people a heavy impression of death. He snorted and said impatiently, "I need to meet up with the Soul Clan, quickly. If you have any news, you better report quickly. Don't waste my time." "Sir, as you've ordered, I've always paid attention to the treasures that can affect or control the soul. When I visited the trading zone of the third-class clans, I found that the Heavenly Eye clan was selling a fascinating divine eye. They said that the eye could even hypnotize the soul at the immortal realm." He hurried to report the situation, his eyes yearning. He looked at his master and assured him, "I've tested it. It worked well. I got fascinated immediately. However, I didn't have the materials they wanted to trade, and I couldn't force them to give it to me. So I came to report it to you. The fascinating divine eye." Bargo was surprised. He was excited as he nodded inwardly. He knew that the members of the Heavenly Eye clan were born with a third eye with magical effects. It wasn't some sort of power Upanishad, but an innate supernatural power. The power of the eye increased as the warrior's realm increased. Sometimes the power of the third eye remained even after the owner died. The members of the Heavenly Eye clan would keep the magical eye of their deceased precursors to exchange for some special cultivating materials. Bargo was sent by the forefather of the Earth Ghoul tribe to work with Singh. Singh had told them to find something that could hypnotize people. Singh had made himself clear that if Bargo could find the top treasure that could function as he pleased, he would give him a lot of good rewards. Singh was the general commander of the Soul Clan, and even the forefather of the Earth Ghoul tribe had to respect him. If Bargo got his favor, it would be very good for him. Bargo was moved, his face more sinister. "What realms do the Heavenly Eye warriors have? Do you know where they are staying?" "Sir, don't worry. I found them. Among their group of 3. Only 2 have reached First Sky of Immortal Realm, and the woman is at Third Sky of Incipient God Realm. As long as you go there, we can take that fascinating eye as easily as flipping our hands. We won't encounter anything unexpected," said the other. Bargo thought about it. He guessed that the area lodging third-class clans wouldn't have any strong warriors. "Lead the way. We're going there." His eyes raked around and shot a look at the 2 First Sky of Immortal Realm experts. "You too, come with me." Bargo's guard heard him. They stood up, and the 4 of them ran toward Shuryen. Shortly after, Bargo took his men to the cave where Shuryen's team was lodging. Many members of other clans were staying near the cave. Seeing Bargo at Second Sky of Immortal Realm come and recognizing him from the infamous the Earth Ghoul tribe, they were frightened. They stayed as far away as possible from them. No one wanted trouble. In this area, the Earth Ghoul tribe was a clan that nobody liked to stay close to. They lived deep in the dark underground. They were abnormal and bloodthirsty indeed. Also, they looked for revenge for the slightest grudge. The Earth Ghoul tribe wasn't weak, and they got the Soul Clan, their master, behind them. they had troubled the other second-class clans a lot. The water tribe near them especially hated the earth ghoul tribe the most. However, the water tribe was afraid of the soul clan, so they didn't dare to confront the earth ghoul tribe directly. In many cases, they had to press down their anger. The guards of the dragon lizard clan in this area were supposed to keep up security and control the situation. However, after Bargo showed up, the dragon lizard guards reluctantly stepped back and hid in the caves. They observed the situation from the cave entrance. The guy who had come to warn Evelyn's was standing with his friends. With a heavy complexion, he shook his head. I warned them. If they had left immediately, the Earth Ghoul tribe wouldn't have caught them. Now, they can't leave even if they want to leave. Sigh, if the Earth Ghoul tribe wasn't the henchmen of the Soul Clan, we would have killed them already, said a guard of the Dragon Lizard Clan while looking outraged. They knew that the forefather of the Earth Ghoul tribe was assigned to monitor them. He often visited the Dragon Lizard Clan and asked Dragon Lizard to unite with the Soul Clan. The Dragon Lizard Clan, the Earth Ghoul tribe, and the Water tribe dwelled near each other. Sometimes they had minor conflicts, but the Earth Ghoul tribe would use the Soul Clan as their backup to gain the upper hand. The Dragon Lizard Clan and the Water tribe couldn't deal with the Soul Clan, so they had to yield most of the time. Gradually, the Earth Ghoul tribe's arrogance expanded. Recently, they had acted haughtily around as if they were the real overlords of this area. This could be seen from their deed of attacking Evelyn's team while staying in the Dragon Lizard Clan's territory. Since it was the area where third-class clans gathered, the warriors here, who weren't the Earth Ghoul tribe's opponents, decided to stay away from trouble. The Dragon Lizard Clan had to open one eye and close one eye, pretending to see nothing. Of course, there was still an exception. In a corner in front of Shuriyan's team, Tu Shirchi and Yin were watching the situation from their cave. They had disguised themselves again. Yin had changed back to her hag appearance. Tu Shirchi didn't have a bald head anymore. Now, his hair grew lushly like a bush, and he appeared as a filthy, ugly old man. At this moment, they stood by their cave entrance while looking surprised. Isn't that cave where the two kids were staying? The Earth Ghoul tribe is the Soul Clan's watchdog. Why did they come to find him? Strange. The Earth Ghoul tribe has heard wind of our affair that quickly? Yin mumbled as she was bewildered. Then she snorted. If they dare to act rashly, we have to show ourselves to kill them. When they had fought against Singh, the forefather of the Earth Ghoul tribe had supported Singh. After Tu Shirchi got into the spatial lock as he got hurt severely, Yin had to conceal and disguise herself to run away. She had to be cautious because of the Earth Ghoul tribe's ears and eyes. Along her way to Dragon Lizard Star, the Earth Ghoul tribe had often troubled her. It filled her with indignation. Don't beat the grass. It will scare the snake. Tu Shirchi shook his head. At the critical moment, he was placid. On the surface, the Dragon Lizard Clan has a good relationship with the Soul Clan. If we're exposed and Dragon Lizard doesn't know Singh's plan yet, I'm afraid he'll join hands with Singh to deal with us. Then, our plan will be gone. We won't be able to escape safely. However, those two kids aren't an equal match to the Earth Ghoul tribe. I'm afraid they will be killed instantly, said Yin. Tu Shirchi had a strange halo in his eyes as he grinned. You underestimated that kid. A warrior who has understood dark energy when he's pretty young won't be killed quickly and easily. Also, his life form has transformed. It's one level higher than ours. He's much stronger than warriors at the same realm. I think it's not easy for the Earth Ghoul tribe to kill him. Listening to him, Yin looked bewildered. You rarely appreciate a man that much. Even the outstanding juniors in our clan have never received your compliments. So, you think that he could defeat that Earth Ghoul tribe expert at second sky of a mortal realm with his incipient god realm? How could that be possible? Well, if he confronts him directly, it will be impossible. However, if he uses his head, he'll still have a big chance. Tu Shirchi smiled and comforted his wife. Don't worry. We'll just watch from here. If things accelerate in the wrong way, I will take action immediately to kill the Earth Ghoul tribe experts. Then, we will take that little couple out of Dragon Lizard Star as fast as possible. Taking a deep breath, Tu Shirchi put on a serious face. His life is more important than Sing's. Even if he can't become the non-native officer of our clan, it's also useful for our clan when we can create an enemy at the territory ancestor realm for the Soul Clan. Mwahaha! The warriors from Desolate Territory aren't as weak as people have rumored. There is someone extraordinarily powerful. It's just that not many people know about him. Have you ever met anybody from Desolate Territory? Yun was surprised. Tu Shirchi shook his head. I've never seen anyone, but our clan has some records. A man called Bloodthirsty used to come to the sea domain of Nihility from Desolate Territory. He didn't stay in the sea domain of Nihility for a long time, so not many people know about him. A precursor of our clan used to mention him in a confidential record. He said that Bloodthirsty was very terrifying and could bring a destructive change to the sea domain of Nihility. Unfortunately, in this sea domain of Nihility, he was just like an orchid cactus that bloomed and withered quickly. He had left quickly afterward. He could bring a destructive change to sea domain of Nihility. Was our precursor wrong? I didn't think that Bloodthirsty could be so powerful like that. Yun shook her head and smiled as she thought that Tu Shirchi had just exaggerated. I don't think he was wrong because he said that he had battled that expert once, and he knew that he was a little weaker, said Tu Shirchi. Well, then it could be because of his low competence, right? Yun pouted her lips. His low competence. Tu Shirchi gave her a forced smile. Who? Yun was surprised. Sir Han Tian. Tu Shirchi said the name with a respectful, stern complexion. Yun jolted up. She looked bewildered and she couldn't even speak. Han Tian was one of the territory ancestor realm of the mysterious Sky Clan. He was also the strongest warrior of their clan. He was famous for his brutality and power in the sea domain of Nihility. He was one of the 10 great territory ancestors with an earth-shaking reputation in this vast sea of stars. This vast sea of stars has so many territories, and there were very few experts who reached the territory ancestor realm. However, Han Tian was one of the 10 strongest experts. The 10 great territory ancestors were the strongest individuals among countless warriors. They were acknowledged as the ones that had reached the greatest realms. Chapter 1380. Lead the Wolf into the House. Chapter 1380. Lead the Wolf into the House. Understood. The 10 great territory ancestors were the real heroes among the other territory ancestors. They were the strongest individuals in this vast sea of stars. The territory ancestors could create a galaxy and new species. It was the greatest ability of the warriors' power Upanishads. They were the ultimate existences in the sea domain of Nihility and in every race. The territory ancestor realm was the highest realm that warriors could reach. Han Tian was one of the 10 great territory ancestors. He was the pride of the mysterious Sky Clan and the super expert that people in many territories acknowledged. He was the main pillar of the mysterious Sky Clan and the most supernatural hero. Also, he said that the unknown Bloodthirsty could turn the sea domain of Nihility upside down and that he was 1 level weaker than Bloodthirsty. Yun didn't have any doubt. So that Bloodthirsty came from Desolate Territory? How could that territory create such a genius? Yun was perplexed for a while. She asked with surprise. Sir Han Tian and that Bloodthirsty had met up for a short time. He saw Bloodthirsty slaughter the members of the Devouring clan brutally. And the strange thing was that his power Upanishad was very similar to the Devouring clan. It seemed like he had mastered the lost power Upanishad of the Devouring clan. Also, he had mastered the 8 great evil power Upanishads of the Devouring clan. It was unimaginable. Tu Shirchi was also surprised. Rumors said that Devour the absolute beginning creature, had created the Devouring clan using his flesh and blood. However, Devour had disappeared for a long time. No one knows if he's still alive or not. However, after so many years, the Devouring clan has developed a lot, and the competencies of the experts in their clan could be as high as their ancestor Devour. The Devouring clan is the most mysterious clan among the 7 clans. We don't know how strong they are. Even the cruel, brutal Soul clan and the overbearing Dark Demon clan don't dare to challenge or offend the Devouring clan. Why did Bloodthirsty go massacre the Devouring clan? How could he know devouring power Upanishad, the lost Upanishad of the Devouring clan? Yun felt a little puzzled. Tu Shirchi gave her a forced smile. I think even Sir Han Tian couldn't answer your questions. When he saw Bloodthirsty kill so many members of the Devouring clan and make blood flow like a river, he was excited. He wanted to try. He had fought Bloodthirsty. Sir Han Tian was defeated. Then he tried to create a good friendship with Bloodthirsty. They drank together, and then he invited Bloodthirsty to visit our clan when he had free time. Bloodthirsty had accepted his invitation. However, after they bid farewell, they hadn't met up again. Bloodthirsty seemed to have disappeared from the sea domain of nihility like a random traveler. However, Sir Han Tian couldn't forget him. He highly appreciated him. He asked us to pay attention to see if we can find any information about desolate territory. As Bloodthirsty was so powerful, we hope to unite or be friends with him. Oh, now I know why you tried your best to create a good relationship with that kid. It turns out that desolate territory has given birth to someone so terrifying, said Yin. If that kid can become a new Bloodthirsty, let alone the things we offered him, even if we give him 10 times more than that, it will be worth it, said Tu Shirchi. Yun was surprised. You're a hardcore gambler, but you're always right. Wait to see it. This kid will be one of my biggest bets, and I will win for sure. Tu Shirchi laughed haughtily. Right at this moment, an earth-shaking explosion came from the cave entrance of Shurian's cave. Boom! The stone door of the cave entrance was broken into pieces, and dust scattered everywhere. Bargo of the Earth Ghoul tribe had directly crushed the stone door. He didn't even care about the Dragon Lizard clan. With a sinister smile hanging on his face, he brought the 3 subordinates storming into the cave. When the members of other third-class clans around heard the loud explosion, they retracted their neck and closed their caves. The ones who still had the guts to observe the situation were staying far from the cave of the Heavenly Eye clan. They were fearful as they looked at this area from a distance. The Earth Ghoul tribe has become more rampant, said a guard of the Dragon Lizard clan through his gritted teeth. The other guards of the Dragon Lizard clan had the same thought. Their eyes turned red as if they hated that they couldn't kill and pull the intestines of those Earth Ghoul tribe members out of their stomachs. However, they knew that the Earth Ghoul tribe was the Soul clan's hound. It wasn't tough to kill the Earth Ghoul tribe, but the Soul clan wasn't the enemy that the Dragon Lizard clan could handle. Unless their forefather dragon, Lizard, could reach the territory ancestor realm. When that happened, they would have a strong backup, though. Dash. Hey friends from Heavenly Eye clan. Don't hide. Get out and talk. Bargo grinned sinisterly. He walked into the cave, his face calm. He appeared with the green face and yellow fangs, accompanied by a strange smile that made him more gruesome. His voice echoed loudly as if he did that on purpose, so people would know how haughty and proud their Earth Ghoul tribe was. So they are the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe? Sure. Yen walked out of the stone chamber, his face surprised. He eyed the 4 clansmen of the Earth Ghoul tribe and said seriously, You're right. They're like fearsome, nauseating ghosts. They're really one of the ugliest races in this universe. Indeed. Audrey stood by him. After a short glance at the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe, she looked cold and disdainful. Her facial expression and manners suited Sher Yan's harsh words well. /update by Novelful. Calm Evelyn's forced a smile. He didn't know if Sher Yan's plan could work. He focused and checked around. He found that the 4 members of the Earth Ghoul tribe hadn't found anything strange yet. He snorted and closed his eyes. You guys smashed my door to get in here. I wonder what made you do that. Bargo didn't look at Evelyn's. His white-gray eyes gazed at Sher Yen as he said coldly, Little doggo, what is the ugliest race in the universe? Isn't it you guys? Sher Yen was astounded. His face was awkward as if he wanted to say, You knew it, and you still wanted to ask me. Well, everybody knows that, but you don't know anything? Kill him. Kill him for me. Bargo shouted ear-piercingly. A member of the Earth Ghoul tribe at first sky of a mortal realm behind him immediately stormed over and spurted out a black een ball. The ball was icy cold with thick een chi that fell on Sher Yen's head. The black ball exploded and turned into an icy pond that covered Sher Yen. Keep that woman alive. I want to CK her to death. I want them to see the result of offending our Earth Ghoul tribe. You King alien. You dare to humiliate our noble Earth Ghoul tribe. You can't be forgiven. I will torture you to death. Bargo screamed wildly, his voice thundering and echoing around the valley. Only the third-class clans gathered in this area. Since the Earth Ghoul tribe was a second-class race and depended on the Soul clan, Bargo thought that no one dared to interfere with his business. Even the Dragon Lizard clan didn't dare to do that. Audrey gazed at Bargo with her cold eyes and said coldly, Even the Soul clan's dogs are that haughty. You don't recognize your responsibility as the dogs, so you should become dead dogs. Terminate. Sher Yen was indifferent. His lips parted to make one sound, which then turned into a scorching flame that shrouded the cold pond. Shortly after, it burned the pond into ashes. The Earth Ghoul tribe warrior at first sky of a mortal realm turned red and tried to swallow a gulp of blood that had just churned in his throat. Aha, members of the Earth Ghoul tribe, I'm enlightened now. Just like what you told us. They are haughty and ugly. Thus, we don't need to talk. Sure, Yen said calmly, his power surging. Shortly after, the room was filled with magical space energy. Right after that, Evelyn's, Adam's, Masha, and Audrey faded and disappeared as if they were just illusions. Sir, this place isn't a cave. It's a spatial trap. We're trapped in another space. The member of the Earth Ghoul tribe at the first sky of a mortal realm, who had just fought against Sher Yen, discolored and shouted as he found something wrong. He was right. This place wasn't a cave. It was the new space that Sher Yen had created by using the fantasy boundary stone. This space was the exact copy of the original stone common room with the same walls, stone tables, and stools. Everything here was created with the power of the fantasy space. They were indeed just illusions. At this moment, Audrey and the other 3 had returned to the Real stone chamber, where a light cluster hovered in the middle. Inside the light cluster was Sher Yen and the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe. Audrey and the others could see the situation clearly as if they were watching something under the lake through the water surface. That world looked so real. I hadn't expected his space power Upanishad to reach such a magical level. It isn't different from reality here. If we hadn't returned, I would have thought that we were still in that world and thought it was real. Masha said as she was totally convinced. Audrey was also surprised. Now, she knew that when Sher Yen solved the spatial lock, he harvested new achievements in space power Upanishad. Otherwise, he couldn't have deceived the others by creating an illusional world using the fantasy boundary stone that the others couldn't tell if it was real or not. Just like her, Tu Shih-chi and Yun were also astounded. Different from the other warriors of third-class races who couldn't tell the situation because of their low realms, they knew exactly what was going on inside the cave. Because Yi Yun had given Sher Yen the fantasy boundary stone, They could recognize the feeble space energy from that cave. I think today is a bad day for the Earth Ghoul tribe. That kid is correct. Being the dogs, they should have recognized their responsibility as dogs. They shouldn't deem themselves as the wolves, because if they do that, they will get pretty close to death. Tu Shirchi laughed fiendishly. That kid has power. He used the fantasy boundary stone to create a cave and seal the door. He lured the Earth Ghoul tribe to break the door to get in his trap. Haha, in the world he has created, how could the Earth Ghoul tribe members do anything? His understanding and application of space power Upanishad are really extraordinary. This kid does have endless potential, appraised Yin. While they were talking, Yen stayed inside that world and curled his lips into a smile. Well, stay here and enjoy the marvel of the exploding space. Then he left the space and returned to the real stone common room. He pointed at the world that looked like a cluster of light. Boom, boom, boom. Just like eggs that exploded, the light cluster burst and sent out the formidable energy of a collapsing space. Audrey, Evelyn, Adams, and Masha could see clearly that the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe inside that world had their bodies shatter like glass falling on hard ground. Their bodies burst into so many pieces that they couldn't have a worse death. Their soul altars were smashed. Their souls turned into feeble wisps that tried to escape the cave. Rascal, I won't let it go. The Earth Ghoul tribe will make you pay the bloodiest price. Wait to see it. Borrego's soul slithered and tried to escape the cave while shouting crazily. The power Upanishad that the Earth Ghoul tribe cultivated was bestowed by the Soul Clan. Thus, it was also magical. After their soul altars broke, their souls were still able to escape. Chapter 1381. You think you can run away? Chapter 1381. You think you can run away. Underscore the 4 members of the Earth Ghoul tribe inside the world, created by the fantasy boundary stone, were smashed when that world shattered. Their souls turned into wisps like worms. Since the Earth Ghoul tribe's power Upanishad was special, even when their soul altar broke, their souls could still flee. After being condensed, their souls could still survive. Borrego's realm was the highest here. Although his body and soul altars shattered, wisps of his soul could still talk arrogantly before leaving. His sinister, resentful soul energy still lingered in the cave. The small world collapsing had broken the entrance of the cave altogether. At this moment, many rocks blocked half of the entrance. The aliens outside the cave couldn't see or hear the commotions there anymore. Tu Shirchi and his wife couldn't see the situation inside the cave with their naked eyes. Want to run? You think you can run away from me? Yan's face was dark, harsh, and malicious. He grinned fiendishly as he rose one finger and touched his glabella. The mysterious black hole flew out of his soul altar. It was like the massive, dark mouth of a demon. The devouring power Upanishad was urged. A great suction force came out from the hole and pulled the souls forcefully. With Yen as the center, everybody else in the cave all felt strange, as if their souls were dragged and their soul altars were pulled hard. Inside the cave, the wisps of the soul swayed like algae in the sea and headed to the cave entrance to leave. However, after his black hole emerged, all the soul wisps and soul energy were sucked in as if there was a super magnet. Shortly after, they all moved into the black hole, a supernatural ability of his devouring Upanishad. Devouring power Upanishad. The lost power Upanishad of the devouring clan. Unbelievable. Impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Before the last wisp of Borrego's soul was sucked into the black hole, he was aghast as if he had a mental problem. All the wisps of souls and soul energy inside the cave disappeared. After the small soul shattered, the energy and essence chi from the 4 Earth Ghoul tribe members had become pure energy that naked eyes couldn't see and entered Yan's acupuncture points. Yen stayed quiet to sense his body. Then he realized that because of the strange energy from Hui that had transformed him, his acupuncture points didn't swell or ache as he took in the energy from the 4 members of the Earth Ghoul tribe. The capacity of his acupuncture points seemed to increase massively, so he was able to receive more energy. Soon, the soul energy from the 4 warriors of the Earth Ghoul tribe was converted and refined. Flows of mysterious, pure energy scattered like a magical foundation that gave a tonic to his soul altar and increased the energy in his sea of consciousness. He noticed that the dark energy in his sea of consciousness also grew. The dark energy blended with Yan's soul consciousness and made his soul consciousness more powerful than his God power. It could attack invisibly with formidable power. It could seep into the other's sea of consciousness in just a blink of an eye, and its sensibility was amazing. The fusion between dark energy and his soul consciousness had given his soul consciousness infinite abilities. Squinting, he checked it and found that the dark energy was bobbing in his sea of consciousness, and it seemed to seep into his soul altar one wisp at a time. Slowly, it was affecting and changing his soul altar. /update by Novelful. Calm apparently, it was a useful change for him. With the aid from dark energy, he became wise and his understanding of power Upanishads was deeper. It seemed like his soul potential was about to open, which made the fusion of power Upanishad simple. Yen got dark energy as his devouring power Upanishad, which swallowed the energy from Hui when Wetterson eroded it. This energy hid deep in his sea of consciousness and fused with his soul consciousness, giving it magical powers, and now it was slowly changing the soul altar. He discreetly sensed and found that the dark energy could fuse with any kind of energy in his body. It could transform him physically and mentally. While talking, he sent the dark energy from the sea of consciousness to his body and let it run through his veins, bones, and flesh. He found himself slowly turn invisible. Evelyn's Audrey and the others saw him become transparent and then gradually become invisible. However, a formidable energy fluctuated from his whereabouts, making people shiver with anxiety. It seemed like the space around him had also changed accordingly to his change. Yen. Audrey pondered for a while and then hissed. Yen was awakened from his marvelous experience. He retrieved the dark energy into his body and guided it back to the sea of consciousness. He reappeared with a strange expression and smiled at Evelyn's group. The Earth Ghoul tribe isn't really hard to deal with. Don't worry. All the warriors who had come here are dead. We saw it, Evelyn's looked odd. He wanted to say something, but he held it back. It seemed like he was very perplexed. Yen, Audrey's eyes brightened. When Borrego's last beam of soul consciousness disappeared, did you hear what he said? He said that your sucking soul energy ability is the lost technique of the devouring clan. Yen understood. His face went stiff as he said that indeed. The devouring power Upanishad was the core inheritance of bloodthirsty force. In desolate territory, only bloodthirsty had mastered this power Upanishad. Yan's power Upanishad came from bloodthirsty. How could it be related to the devouring clan? He looked at the 3 experts of the Heavenly Eye clan. Instantly, he became cautious and pretended to act naturally. How is the devouring clan? Evelyn's took a deep breath. The devouring clan is the most strange clan among the 7 great clans. I heard that it's a whole new species that Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had created using his blood and flesh. Members of this clan cultivate the 8 great powers Upanishads, including soul control, death, corrosion, dark, chaos, destruction, despair, and corpse chi. Also, the most mysterious power Upanishad that they won't teach anyone is the devouring power Upanishad. Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had imparted them those powers Upanishads. However, until today, The devouring clan's devouring power Upanishad was lost, as well as many of the 8 great power Upanishads. Anyway, the devouring clan is still one of the 7 great clans, and it's the most mysterious clan that no one dares to offend. Devour, the absolute beginning creature, had disappeared a very long time ago. Only the members of the devouring clan know about it. Rumors say that Devour was the fountainhead of evils. It controlled evil divine weapons. According to the members of the devouring clan, when Devour was in his peak of glory, he could swallow the planets and territories to increase his power. He was the most terrifying creature in this world. Pausing for a while, Evelyn's looked at Shuryen. The way you used to swallow the wisps of soul and soul energy of the Earth Ghoul tribe members is similar to the lost power Upanishad of the Earth Ghoul tribe, the devouring power Upanishad. Currently, even the members of the devouring clan can't grasp the essence of this power Upanishad. How are you able to cultivate it? Audrey was bewildered as she looked at Shuryen. So Bloodthirsty was... No, he wasn't, Shuryen shook his head. He remembered what Hui had told him through Tian Xie. Desolate had created Bloodthirsty to help it reunite its body, which was to merge the 4 ancient continents to Desolate. Unfortunately, Hui's plan was interrupted when Devour attacked it. Devour had imparted Bloodthirsty its devouring power Upanishad and the 8 great, evil power Upanishads. It wanted to use Bloodthirsty to destroy Desolate territory and harm Desolate further to prevent it from recovering ever again. It was the fight between Devour and Desolate. According to Hui, the Dark Abyss, the holy land of the Bloodthirsty force, was Devour. Ming Hao used to tell them that Bloodthirsty had defeated even the absolute beginning creature. Shuryen thought that this absolute beginning creature was Hui. However, he now considered it to be Devour, the absolute beginning creature that had tried to influence Bloodthirsty. Devour could be killed or made dormant. When Bloodthirsty thought that he could finally escape his destiny, Desolate took action again. It had promoted the God Lord and helped him get the Genesis fruit. Brian then led the experts to defeat Bloodthirsty. Bloodthirsty was killed by Brian. Desolate had terminated him. The main reason was that Desolate had created Bloodthirsty, so his fate was bound. Desolate could arrange his destiny. If Bloodthirsty hadn't been hurt after the fight with Devour, he would have been able to refine Desolate and then replace Desolate to become the master of Desolate territory. He would have been the peak existence in the sea domain of nihility. Devouring clan was the clan the Devour had created by using its blood and flesh. Devour was their ancestor. Devour had imparted them everything it had: blood, power Upanishads, and energy. It should be the exit that Devour had saved for itself before the battle with Desolate. Then, Devour left the devouring clan to find Desolate and fight against it. Also, after developing for a long time, the devouring clan had gradually lost their essence of power Upanishads because their precursors fell. Devour battled against Desolate and then got severely injured. It had to return to sea domain of nihility. Then, Bloodthirsty defeated it. It could be left in a coma or killed, which led to the loss of the devouring clan's power Upanishads. Sure, Yen had many thoughts cross his mind. This journey in the sea domain of nihility had given him a lot of information about the conflict between Desolate and Devour and Bloodthirsty's creation and elimination. Sure, Yen could guess what had happened in the past now. He admired and respected Bloodthirsty more as he could defeat Devour, the absolute beginning creature. It was really pitiful for an overlord whose fate was bound to Desolate. It was how Desolate could take the upper hand and use Brian to kill him. Bloodthirsty could never have escaped the restriction to fly freely in the sea domain of nihility. He could never have become another dazzling legend in the vast sea domain of nihility. He failed, but he had used Lao Luo to choose Shuryen, an heir whose fate wasn't bound to Desolate territory. Sure, Yen was born with greater advantages. Sure, Yen looked stern as he promised, inwardly. Your failure was because of your drama in your birth and fate. If you chose me, I won't fail you. I will finish what you weren't capable of fulfilling. It's not the devouring power, Upanishad. I used a secret treasure to do that. It's an application of the dark energy. Pondering for a while, Shuryen chuckled and then said to the 3 members of the Heavenly Eye clan, "You're overthinking it. I hope you don't misunderstand me. Otherwise, the devouring clan will skin me alive." Evelyn's looked skeptical and baffled, but they didn't continue the topic. They didn't believe Borrego's last words. The devouring power Upanishad was lost, even in the devouring clan. The magical power of this Upanishad was assumed to be the lies and exaggeration of the devouring clan. Moreover, Shuryen was apparently from desolate territory. They knew his identity already. No matter what, desolate territory couldn't have anything connected to the lost power Upanishad of the devouring clan. It didn't have anything in common anyway. Thus, they chose to believe Shuryen. They thought that it was a magical power of the dark energy when it urged a special secret treasure, which had similar effects to devouring power Upanishad. Only Audrey understood Shuryen's concerns. The devouring power Upanishad was very crucial to the devouring clan. It was lost even in the said clan, so it was precious to them. If word of this power got out and the devouring clan heard about it, how would they survive? Chapter 1382, Twisting and Turning. Chapter 1382, Twisting and Turning. Underscore the guards of the Dragon Lizard clan had always paid attention to Shuryen's cave. When the cave sealed, they became restless because they couldn't see what was going on in there. Boom! The sealed stone door exploded. This time, the Dragon Lizard clan guards saw that Shuryen's team was safe and sound from a distance. Barago and his members of the Earth Ghoul tribe had disappeared. The Dragon Lizard clan guards felt their hearts sinking. They all became grave. Exchanging looks, they immediately walked towards Shuryen's cave. Barago was the head of the Earth Ghoul tribe delegation this time. He also had a sensitive connection with Singh of the Soul clan. As long as he was safe, even if he had troubled Shuryen's group, the Dragon Lizard clan wasn't going to find him to ask for justice. They had to be patient and quiet. But if something bad happened to Barago, it was going to be an explosion, and Singh knew it. Instantly, the Dragon Lizard clan guards stormed into Shuryen's cave. Some guards were cautious enough to set up some barriers and seal the door one more time. The guard that had warned them earlier stepped forward and asked, "Where are the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe?" Shuryen knew why they were anxious. He answered calmly, "They came to force us to sell things for them. They wanted to kill us, but we had defeated them and killed them. Meh, we don't even leave their remains. What's the problem?" It was over. The Dragon Lizard clan guards felt sudden darkness in their eyes. They knew that it was really serious this time. One of them took a deep breath and didn't ask more. He immediately took out a sound stone and reported with a grimace, "Sir Dulé, we are in big trouble. Barago of the Earth Ghoul tribe died." Dulé was one of the experts under Forefather Dragon Lizard's commands. He was in charge of the affairs in another area. Listening to the report, he was startled. He immediately asked for the location and ran at his max speed. Inside the cave, the Dragon Lizard clan guards wore worried, bitter faces. The death of Barago could bring big trouble to the Dragon Lizard clan. If they let Shuryen's group leave easily, they couldn't answer to the others. The Soul clan stood behind the Earth Ghoul tribe. Also, Singh was here as the distinguished guest of their clan. Barago had to report to Singh regularly because Singh had asked him to find someone. Barago was dead unknowingly. Singh had to ask the cause and the situation. If the forefather of the Earth Ghoul tribe knew that his subordinate sent to Dragon Lizard Star was killed here, he was going to be outraged, and he was possibly even going to come personally to take revenge. "You can't leave now," said a guard of the Dragon Lizard clan. Shuryen grinned. He made this scene just to find a chance to see the real manager of the Dragon Lizard clan. Thus, he wasn't anxious or hot-tempered. He just happily waited to see Dulé. Dulé arrived fast. He landed here before even 1 hour passed. As soon as he landed, he found a strange situation. Many alien warriors from the third-class clans were standing in front of their caves and discussing with each other while looking at another cave. They all wore strange countenances. Those warriors looked excited and happy over the other's misfortune, but most of them showed indifferent faces. Bargo hasn't walked out of the cave yet. Did something bad happen to him? How could it be? Bargo has second sky of Immortal Realm cultivation base. He's from the Earth Ghoul tribe. Who dares to trap him? So why hasn't he walked out yet? The Earth Ghoul tribe is evil and lustful. Perhaps they closed the cave to torture those Heavenly Eye clan members. Who knows? Those people couldn't observe the battle between Shiryen and the Earth Ghoul tribe inside the cave because of the closed door. Tu Shirchi and Yin were the only ones outside the cave who knew that Bargo was dead. However, they were also baffled. The Earth Ghoul tribe cultivates the power Upanishad bestowed by the Soul Clan. Even if the soul altar is smashed, the host soul can divide into many wisps and flee. If they don't have the special power Upanishad or secret treasures, it will be pretty hard to eliminate them. Why are there no wisps fleeing? Is it true that the wisps of their souls were annihilated too? Yin was perplexed. Yeah, it's strange. Tu Shirchi was also surprised. The manager of the Dragon Lizard clan is here. We should just keep quiet and watch. As that kid can make a higher superior come here, as long as he's smart, he can lead the situation to develop into the best way. It seems like we will benefit from his glory, Yun smiled. If he can persuade Dragon Lizard to join hands with us to deal with Sing, Sing will be finished at Dragon Lizard Star. Then the Dragon Lizard clan has to go the same way as our mysterious Sky clan. It'll be perfect, though. Tu Shirchi laughed evilly. I am Dulé. A muffled call came from the cave entrance. The members of the Dragon Lizard clan hurried to lift the barriers and respectfully greeted Dulé. Dulé was the sort of character who could meet Forefather Dragon Lizard. He looked a deep breath, his face grimaced. Are you sure that the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe were all killed? He said that. One of them pointed at Shiryen. Shiryen was still calm. The Earth Ghoul tribe wanted to force us to trade and then kill us to rob the item. We were so reluctant, so we had to defend ourselves. Dulé scanned through Adams, Evelyn's, Masha, and Audrey. He said with a dark face, You guys can kill Borrego's group. Sure, Yen didn't want to waste time. He knew that if he didn't explain thoroughly, they would capture him to talk to the Earth Ghoul tribe and the Soul Clan. I cultivate a special power Upanishad. Yeah, I burst off the space waves to smash them to death. He explained, pulled a stern visage, and then said, I heard that your forefather has been stuck at the peak of Immortal Realm and he needs to study the dark energy to break through to the territory ancestor realm. I happen to know dark energy. I want to use my understanding of dark energy to exchange for an immortal pellet. Can you take me to see him? Kid, you think you can make me let you go by saying that? Dulé somehow appreciated Yen inwardly when he saw that Yen wasn't afraid at all. However, he said, Honestly, we don't have a good impression or feelings for the Earth Ghoul tribe. If you can kill them, I will applaud happily. Unfortunately, the Earth Ghoul tribe has a close relationship with the Soul Clan. We still need to explain it to them. Then he turned to his guards and asked them to take Shiryan's team into custody first. Apparently, he didn't believe that Shiryen had dark energy. He thought that Shiryen had just made an excuse. Anyway, Shiryen had just incipient God realm. He had never heard of anyone who could comprehend dark energy at incipient God realm. Perhaps this will be easier to understand. Yen calmly urged his energy. His soul consciousness rippled like waves. The stone walls around him exploded furiously. An invisible energy had intruded Dulé and his warriors and entered their souls. They all felt shivers down their spines. They were filled with fear instantly. How could it be? How could you do that? Dulé couldn't even imagine. He had heard about many mysterious secrets of the dark energy. He knew it was peculiar. Without alerting the others, this invisible energy could expand inaudibly, and it was more lethal than god power. Yan's performance was exactly like what they had rumored. It was the power of the ones with dark energy. "I want to meet your forefather," said Yan simply. Dulé's eyes were complicated. He pondered for a few seconds and then said to his warriors, "It's forbidden to tell any word about this. You arrange them in another area. Don't let anybody know. Conceal the death of the Earth Ghoul tribe members. No, we must close this area. Do not let anyone in or out." The members of the Dragon Lizard clan knew the seriousness of this case. They nodded continuously. "We don't need to move to another area. I have 2 friends here. You guys should escort them to my friend's cave." Yan pointed at Tu Shirchi and Yun's cave in the distance. "You have no say in this. We will arrange this ourselves. While you go meet our elder, we will conceal it." Dulé snorted and then said, "Follow me. I'm taking you to meet our elder." Dulé knew that their Dragon Lizard clan was afraid of the Soul clan because their forefather hadn't reached the Territory Ancestor realm yet. As long as he reached that realm, they could stop worrying about the Territory Ancestor of the Soul clan. He understood what Dragon Lizard prioritized now. Yan, an alien who knew dark energy. If he could give the forefather a chance to break through, the death of the Earth Ghoul tribe members was not important. Dulé took Yan on a stone-paved path. This path had many hidden mechanisms that Dulé had to use his soul consciousness to open. Each wall here led to a marvelous cave deep inside the planet. After a long time, Yan had gone deep underground and appeared by a massive scorching lava pond. After Dulé had taken Yan here, Dulé kneeled down on both knees and spoke the language of the Dragon Lizard clan to talk to the lava pond. Dulé was calling for Dragon Lizard. After a while, Dragon Lizard's clone emerged from the hot pond and stood in front of Dulé and Yan. He asked in astonishment, "Who is this kid?" "Forefather, it's like this." Dulé hurried to explain. When he mentioned that Yan understood dark energy, Dragon Lizard shivered and his eyes shot light as dazzling as sunlight. "If you can help me, you don't need to worry about the Earth Ghoul tribe anymore. Also, we will give you the immortal pellet," said Dragon Lizard resolutely. To him, nothing was more important than breaking through to the Territory Ancestor realm. When he got dark energy and entered the Territory Ancestor realm, the Earth Ghoul tribe's forefather was the one he could kill in any minute. Even if the Soul clan wanted to battle against him, they would have to consider if it was worth their efforts or not. The Soul clan has ambushed you. There's a divine weapon from the absolute beginning era in the stomach of your real body now. It's a 3-legged cauldron of the Soul clan. Yan looked at him and threw him more shocking news. "If you don't join the Soul clan this time, you'll die. That cauldron is a divine weapon that Singh has borrowed from an expert at the Territory Ancestor realm in his clan. It's for you especially." Chapter 1383 Soul Refining Cauldron. Chapter 1383 Soul Refining Cauldron. Answer. You guys stay here. No one is allowed to take even one step out of here. A member of the Dragon Lizard clan took Audrey and the 3 warriors of the Heavenly Eye clan to a heavy guarded room. Dozens of Dragon Lizard clan guards stood and watched outside the room. They were the new guards that another leader of the Dragon Lizard clan had mobilized from another zone. This group of guards had at least 6 experts at the Immortal Realm. To them, they were a big threat. "We're imprisoned. Evelyn sighed and looked at the door with layers of barriers and the dragon lizard clan guards. He knew that they couldn't act freely anymore. Audrey wore a pure white dress, her face as calm as usual. She sat quietly in this spacious room and said, "Don't worry. As long as Sher Yen and Forefather Dragon Lizard find an agreement, we will be all right." "I'm just afraid of unexpected events," Adams forced a smile. He understood the Dragon Lizard clan's deeds. If Sher Yen and Forefather Dragon Lizard had a good conversation, they would be all right. But if it went bad, the Dragon Lizard clan would hand them to the Earth Ghoul tribe where they would be tortured to death. Everything depended on Sher Yan's means. Audrey was calm. Along the way here, she had always felt like a pair of eyes was watching them, using her magical soul power to sense. She knew that Yiyun and Tu Shirchi were using their special method to observe them. As Tu Shirchi and Yiyun were from the mysterious Sky Clan, one of the 7 great clans, and were at third sky of Immortal Realm, it wasn't going to be a problem to rescue them. She could vaguely feel that Tu Shirchi really appreciated the relationship with Sher Yen. If the situation got worse, these 2 members of the mysterious Sky Clan were going to interfere. She wasn't wrong about this. At this moment, Tu Shirchi and Yiyun were staying in their stone chamber. Tu Shirchi opened his eyes and laughed. "Well, the Dragon Lizard clan isn't really good. I got their location. I've also sent a wisp of soul consciousness there. If something happens, I'll know immediately." Hearing him, Yiyun could finally ease her restless mind. She said, "Maybe we don't need to take action. Right, as long as that kid can meet up with Dragon Lizard, things will change greatly. And we just need to wait patiently for Dragon Lizard's invitation," smiled Tu Shirchi. "We should prepare carefully. We must make Sing taste our power." Yiyun's eyes conveyed her savage intention. Dash! In a corner of Dragon Lizard Star, Sing was floating above countless departed souls and ghosts, his face dark and cold. The soul energy rippled from him fiercely. Underneath, so many ghosts were crying and screaming pathetically. A member of the Soul Clan, like a dark shadow, flew to him and said respectfully, "Commander, we got recent news that Barago of the Earth Ghoul tribe is gone." Sing was awakened from his cultivation. He frowned and said impatiently, "What?" That feudal Barago was sent to find the mysterious Sky Clan members, but he failed. I asked him to find something that could hypnotize souls, and I've heard nothing from him yet. I don't care if he's gone or not. This sort of man doesn't deserve our attention. A subordinate of him reported that they had found a fascinating diving eye of the Heavenly Eye Clan. They said that it could even fascinate the soul of the Immortal Realm experts. Barago was greedy for it. He took 3 clansmen with him to find them, and he hasn't come back. His subordinate said that his life lamp had extinguished, explained the warrior. What? Sing was startled. A devil and strange light emerged in his eyes. The soul lamp extinguishing means his soul had vanished. The Earth Ghoul tribe cultivates the secret technique from our clan. Unless they encountered some special technique, their souls can scatter and escape safely. Who did Bargo encounter? Bargo had second sky of Immortal Realm cultivation base. Because of his relation to our clan, in this Dragon Lizard Star, there is no one who would dare to attack them, and not many people have the competencies to do so. Recently, the Earth Ghoul tribe tried to find 2 experts from the mysterious Sky Clan. Did he find something which made someone kill him to shut his mouth? Assumed the guard. Sing's soul consciousness moved. Countless departed souls and wailing ghosts underneath came into his body under the black robe. He floated and drifted toward the Soul Clan warrior. He said, "You said Bargo found the fascinating eye something. Do you think it can work?" From what that Earth Ghoul tribe member had reported, it could work magically. Otherwise, Bargo wouldn't have been so thrilled, answered the other. Sing pondered for a while. Perhaps the mysterious Sky Clan has their nose in this fascinating eye thing. I have to go talk to the Dragon Lizard clan to see what happened. Then he turned into a black shadow and disappeared. Dash. The scorching lava pond, deep underground, Dragon Lizard Star. The clone of Forefather Dragon Lizard was surprised as he looked at Shiryen. Kid, what are you talking about? I have a good friendship with Sing. Although I can't say we're soul mates, it's impossible that he would plot against me. On the way to this planet, we encountered a strange asteroid. We thought it. Yen took a deep breath, then told the others everything they had encountered on the way there. He had stressed on describing the features of the massive three-legged cauldron and the mysterious symbols on the cauldron. Du Lei was kneeling on the ground and listening to Yen in fear. He couldn't help but intervene. Forefather, from what he's saying, I'm afraid that the big cauldron is the soul refining cauldron of the Soul Clan. The soul refining cauldron is a divine weapon from the absolute beginning era. It can absorb the soul consciousness to create magical symbols, the language of the absolute beginning era. It's really formidable. After Yen had finished, Forefather Dragon Lizard didn't say anything, but he changed his face when Du Lei intervened. At this moment, he didn't have the mood to ask about dark energy. Whether you told us the truth or not, I need to check it carefully. Then his clone directly sank into the scorching lava pond. A terrifying groan arose deep inside the massive lava pond. It seemed like a giant beast was moving and releasing energy. A tremendous energy that could explode the entire Dragon Lizard Star came from the lava pond. The planet had constant explosions as so many pieces of broken stars on its surface rumbled. They looked as if they could collapse in the next minute. If the soul refining cauldron was in his body, he could make the cauldron destroy his body from the inside and take in his soul as long as Sing wanted that to happen. Sing could kill him that way while increasing his cauldron's power altogether. The stronger the soul that it absorbed, the more terrifying the cauldron became. The reason why the expert at the territory ancestor realm of the Soul Clan let Sing borrow the weapon was to kill Forefather Dragon Lizard to strengthen his divine weapon. No matter what, in the vast sea of stars, people at the peak of a mortal realm were rare. Their souls were the top tonic for the soul refining cauldron. Grrrrrrrrr. An earth-shaking roar came from the lava pond. The clone of Dragon Lizard emerged at once. He looked ashen as green veins bulged on his forehead like wiggling worms. He looked so furious. Forefather, called Du Lei. This kid is right. I found a foreign item in my body. It must be the soul refining cauldron of the Soul Clan. I can't take it out now. I don't want to alert the enemy. It would make Sing attack me first. Forefather Dragon Lizard had his flame of rage burst up into the sky. After so many years, he had always considered Sing a friend. He wanted to create a good relationship with the Soul Clan. He hadn't shown his intention to join the Soul Clan because he still embraced the hope of obtaining a true understanding of dark energy by exchanging the immortal pellets. If he couldn't get dark energy afterward, he would consider joining the Soul Clan. Dragon Lizard hadn't expected Sing to prepare so well for this trip. He didn't come with a goodwill at all. The soul refining cauldron was his black hand. If Dragon Lizard still lingered, he would become a sacrifice for that divine weapon of the Soul Clan. How could he not be outraged? It's troublesome to take it out of my body without Sing recognizing it. I want to think carefully to find a way to do that. Although Forefather Dragon Lizard was extremely hot-tempered, he calmed down pretty quickly. He began to think about a method to solve this big problem. If you want to kill Sing, someone can help you. Yeah. If you don't mind, I can introduce 2 experts to you. They also want Sing dead. Moreover, they can assure you that you don't need to be afraid of the Soul Clan's revenge after that. It's an assurance to your Dragon Lizard clan. Shiryen smiled and offered at the right time. Forefather Dragon Lizard was surprised. Kid, it seems like you have a plan. Tell me, who do you want to introduce to me? How about the mysterious Sky Clan? Shi Yan said in a low-pitched voice. The eyes of Dragon Lizard sparkled in a strange light. He pondered for a while and grasped the key point. He laughed. Oh, are they Tu Shih and his wife Yin? Sing and the members of the Earth Ghoul tribe told us to find them. It seems like Sing has attacked them hard. I knew I can't deceive Forefather, Shi Yan smiled. He knew a monster like Forefather Dragon Lizard wasn't a fool. Sing could only furtively attack him because he had a powerful divine weapon and a lucky timing. He did that when Dragon Lizard was having a meal. Apparently, he had planned it for a long time. Otherwise, it wasn't easy to attack this old monster, as Sing had to use the absolute beginning divine weapon. He was also afraid of Forefather Dragon Lizard. Dragon Lizard could understand a situation after only 2 or 3 sentences. If Sing wants to harm me, how can I let him enjoy himself that much? Harumph! I will make him know the price of plotting against me. Although the soul refining cauldron is an absolute beginning divine weapon. I know it, so don't think they can kill me. Then, Dragon Lizard turned to Shi Yan. All right, take the other 2 to see me. I want to talk to them carefully. Shi Yan now knew Forefather Dragon Lizard wanted to kill Sing too. This area was Dragon Lizard Star, his territory. If they got his approval, everything was going to be convenient. They're staying in. Shi Yan told Dulé the location of Tu Shih's cave. Dulé was very surprised. Now, he knew that the ones Shi Yan had mentioned were the 2 experts of the mysterious Sky Clan. Forefather Dragon Lizard had ordered him to invite Tu Shih and his wife, so Dulé left respectfully. All right, now tell me about dark energy. As soon as he left, Forefather Dragon Lizard had a dazzling light shoot out of his eyes as he gazed at Shi Yan. Chapter 1384 Reward. Chapter 1384 Reward. The scorching lava pond surged and dyed Shi Yan's face red. Vaguely, a terrifying energy fluctuated from deep inside the lava pond. Shi Yan knew that the real body of the Forefather Dragon Lizard hiding inside the lava pond was digesting the broken pieces of asteroids he had recently swallowed to absorb their energy. He was trying to reach the territory ancestor realm. The energy in earth and heaven appeared in many forms. The wind, storm, lightning, a lake, a mountain, and even the lava pond had energy. The warriors and beasts stored energy in their bodies. The crystals, precious treasures, and armor also had energy. There were various types of energy that were rich. The known energies could be categorized as the major energies. The energies from exploding asteroids, comets, lightning, and ice were the major energies. They were the energies that most warriors controlled and used. They filled the warriors' god power ancient tree and gave them supernatural abilities while using their power Upanishads. However, they only controlled the major energies. The warriors couldn't have the power to create the world. They couldn't create new territories, and they couldn't terminate the entire sea of stars with only their thoughts. According to the creatures from the absolute beginning era, there was another kind of energy called the negative energy or the dark energy. This kind of mysterious energy was invisible, and there was no way to sense or recognize it, even though it was always there and affected the existence and the balance of so many territories in the world. This energy had ruled the world for a long time. Unfortunately, not many people could grasp the true meaning of this energy. The ones who understood this energy were usually top experts, and they never talked to others about their power. Forefather Dragon Lizard had been stuck in the immortal realm for so many years. He just needed one more step to enter the territory ancestor realm. However, this small step was like a deep chasm that he was never going to be able to cross. It made him helpless and hopeless. He looked at Shi Yan and couldn't hide his excitement. You have only incipient god realm cultivation base. I'm curious, how could you get dark energy? While talking, Dragon Lizard sent a wisp of his soul consciousness into Shi Yan's brain, and walked around his sea of consciousness before retreating. Forefather Dragon Lizard was thrilled, his eyes passionate. Right, it's dark energy. To be honest, I didn't get this energy through my own study. Shi understood that this old monster had profound knowledge. He didn't dare to lie to him, so he just talked indifferently. I got dark energy from an absolute beginning creature. It was hurt badly at that time, so the pure energy in its body was oozing out. I was accidentally cultivating near it. I had strangely absorbed its pure energy and blood. Then my bones, veins, and souls transformed. Also, my sea of consciousness had some changes that I can't explain. Sure, Yin told him half of the truth. He got dark energy from Hui, but it was because of the devouring power Upanishad. He had eroded Hui's body to completely advance himself and get the energy. Absolute beginning creature. Dragon Lizard looked surprised. What's that creature called? Also, where are you from? How could you encounter a creature from the absolute beginning era? Shi frowned. He wasn't about to explain this, so he just said casually, "Forgive me for not telling everything. I can only tell you about the origin of my dark energy. It's something unexpected. It's my usual luck. I can't spread it out." He could see that Dragon Lizard also wanted to use the absolute beginning creature to get dark energy and break through the tough gateway. Then what can you do to help me? Dragon Lizard's face darkened. He looked angry. From what you said, you didn't even know how you got dark energy. I think you don't know the power and mysteries of dark energy. What else can you tell me? I can transfer a wisp of dark energy to you, so you can take your time to study it. You can learn its mysterious features yourself. Before he got here, Shi had planned this, giving me a wisp of energy. Dragon Lizard was baffled, his eyes mocking. You think we can solve it easily like that? I know there are 2 ways to get dark energy. The first way is what you've said, by taking the energy from absolute beginning creatures. The other way is to learn it by yourself. You aren't an absolute beginning creature. I can't kill you to take energy by refining you. So, how will the dark energy you're about to send me work? How do you know I'm not an absolute beginning creature? Shi curled his lips. My ancestor was lizard. You know how giant my ancestor was? Let alone my ancestor. Do you know how big my real body is? Each of the absolute beginning creatures is bigger than an entire planet. You are too minute. Dragon Lizard wore a disdainful face. Okay, I'm not an absolute beginning creature, but I think my dark energy can help you somehow. Sure, Yin didn't mind it. He closed his eyes and sat in front of Dragon Lizard. He condensed a wisp of dark energy in his sea of consciousness and used a space seal to cover it. A wisp of energy flew out from Shi body and entered Forefather Dragon Lizard's eye. Dragon Lizard frowned and blinked as he drew that invisible seal into his brain. Swoosh! The explosion of the space seal was heard in his head. A flow of strange energy flew away. He wanted to capture it, but it had already vanished. Shi was bewildered as he didn't understand the situation. He had used space energy to shroud a wisp of dark energy, but he didn't imprint his soul seal on it. After it left his body, it disappeared. It couldn't help Forefather Dragon Lizard. Was that your method? Winced Forefather Dragon Lizard. Shi gave a forced smile and tried to squeeze his brain for a solution. At this moment, Du Lei brought Tu Shirqi and Yun to the cave. Tu Shirqi beamed at Shi and then at Dragon Lizard. He smiled casually. You guys are discussing the magical features of dark energy, aren't you? Forefather Dragon Lizard snorted. Although your body is extremely tenacious with formidable power, your transformation of the life form is still not enough. Tu Shirqi smiled. While talking, he threw a jade box to Dragon Lizard. The jade box opened. It seemed like something was inside the box, but they couldn't see anything. but there must be something there. From the dent and the small folds of the fabric inside, there was something that couldn't be seen. Shi Yan was astounded. His mind flickered, and he sent dark energy into his eyes. Then he saw a piece of a bone inside the box. He was very surprised as he looked at Tu Shirqi. A bone. This piece of bone was similar to Bloodthirsty's remains the ear. It was invisible, and the ordinary soul consciousness couldn't see. Shi Yan had to use his dark energy to see it. Yes, it's a piece of a bone. It's the bone of a territory ancestor realm expert after he left. This bone is also called dark material or negative matter. Only the warriors at the territory ancestor realm can become like this after their life form reaches a specific level. Before Tu Shirqi came here, he had prepared well. According to Sir Han Tian of my mysterious Sky Clan, before you can understand dark energy, you have to transform your life from. Only when your body and soul reaches the new height of life can you get that energy. The life form of the absolute beginning creature has reached the peak of existence. That's how they got the power. If we want to reach such a level, we must refine and quench our body and soul to advance our life form. Shi Yan was shocked. Before I got dark energy, it's true that my blood, veins, skeleton, and soul had changed rapidly. After that, I found the magical features of my body, and I found another strange energy in my sea of consciousness. He looked at Tu Shirqi. Forefather Dragon Lizard was stunned. He looked immersed in his thoughts, as if he had just touched something deep in his heart. He suddenly remembered the time he was still small and weak. Lizard, the absolute beginning creature, had advised him clearly that he must not be lazy in refining and quenching his soul and body. Each of his muscles and cells should have refined thousands of times. That's how he could have a chance to sublimate his soul and body. When he was still small and vulnerable, Lizard told him to continuously cultivate both the body and soul. Aside from just condensing and gathering the energy, his soul and body had to also transform to a specific level. When that happened, he was going to be able to see the magical things that others couldn't. This advice was given a long, long time ago, that Forefather Dragon Lizard had almost forgotten it. Today, Tu Shirqi told him Han Tian's experience. Dragon Lizard was startled as tears lingered in his old eyes. My precursor had told me the method a long time ago. Too bad that I have only focused on gathering energy. I had almost forgotten his advice. I didn't know that the body and the soul were the foundation. It's the deepest sorrow of my life. I'm ashamed as I'd failed my precursor's expectations. It should be the first step of the precise path. I'm sure Singh knows this too. He has never reminded you? Tu Shirqi was compassionate. He felt sorry for Forefather Dragon Lizard. This old creature had always wanted to create a good relationship with the Soul Clan, and he had a good friendship with Singh for many years. Throughout these years, Singh had come to be his distinguished guest many times. He'd asked him several times about this, and he got no useful information from him. Refining the body and the soul to evolve the life form was the first step of learning dark energy. The senior experts of the 7 great clans knew this. They had guided their children to pay attention to cultivating the body and the soul, which they had to consider as important as accumulating energy. As Singh was an expert of the Soul Clan, he, of course, knew this. He had always cultivated his body and soul too. But he had never told Dragon Lizard anything. Singh knows this too? Dragon Lizard rolled his eyes, his murderous aura discernible. Well, it's common knowledge in the 7 great clans. Although it's just the first step, the 7 great clans are studying this step carefully, and we think that it's the right path, intervened Yin faintly. Forefather Dragon Lizard didn't say anything, his breathing short and heavy, and his eyes sparkling with malicious light. After a long time, he had to try really hard to subside the idea of going to kill Singh right now. Suddenly, he threw an orange jade jar to Shi Yan. It has an immortal pellet. It can help you reach the immortal realm. It's a reward for your information. Yeah, I got important things to discuss with the two guests from the mysterious Sky Clan. Dulé, you take care of him. Yes, sir, Dulé answered with great respect. Chapter 1385 Break the Bottleneck. Chapter 1385 Break the Bottleneck. Dulé took Yen back to the surface. Before that, he had already asked his guards to bring Audrey and the Heavenly Eye clan's members to another area. It was a massive stone hall in another secret corner. It wasn't the open area where the Dragon Lizard clan hosted the other clans. It was an area exclusive to the strong experts of the clan. The stone hall was built inside a broken asteroid. It had cultivating rooms, storages, and also bath areas. However, the entire place didn't have any decorations, jade objects, or patterns carved on the walls. It was the Dragon Lizard clan style. They didn't like luxurious things. This is where I cultivate, said Dulé. Each influential member of the Dragon Lizard clan had a private area on Dragon Lizard Star. This stone hall was hidden inside an asteroid. Dulé had renovated it so it could fly out of Dragon Lizard Star and function as a battleship. Shortly after, the guards of the Dragon Lizard clan had taken Evelyn's team and Audrey to the same place. If Forefather asks us to protect you, I'm sure we won't let the Soul Clan disturb you. After the two precursors of the mysterious Sky Clan finish their discussion with our ancestor, we'll take them here too. Don't worry, Dulé said to them and then asked his subordinates. As long as they don't leave this area, they can do what they want. They can enter all cultivating rooms. If you don't receive any orders, do not disturb them. Then, Dulé left the stone hall hurriedly. The guards standing outside the hall bowed to him. They've moved us to two different places. It seems like the Dragon Lizard clan is still afraid of the Earth Ghoul tribe and the Soul Clan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have to hide us. Audrey wore a pure white dress, her eye bright but cold. She walked to Yen and asked, "How is it?" "Forefather Dragon Lizard will try to protect us." If nothing unexpected happens, he's discussing how to kill Sing now. Yen grinned and said to Evelyn's and the other two, "Don't worry. It should be nothing dangerous. Just stay here and cultivate. We'll handle it." He didn't mention Tu Shir-Chi and his wife from the mysterious Sky Clan to the other three. Evelyn's guessed that they had hidden something from them, but he was smart enough not to ask further. They scattered, and each of them found a room to cultivate in. Yen and Audrey had chosen a massive training court tiled with square crystals. Those crystals were really rigid, so they could resist energy attacks and hard hits. The domed roof was built high above, which gave them a lot of space to move. He told her what happened when he met up with Forefather Dragon Lizard. Audrey was so astounded. Then he chose a place to sit down cross-legged and said, "We're safe here for the time being. The Dragon Lizard won't trouble us. We should seize this time and cultivate fast." "All right." Audrey sat down opposite to him across the spacious room and folded her straight legs. She closed her eyes. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. 3 wisps of gray souls flew out of the wine jug on her hand. The 3 souls didn't have consciousness. They were just forms of pure soul energy, like drifting clouds. She rose one hand and they disappeared into her eyes. Her body shook 3 times. Countless gray-brown. Hair like soul fibers flew out of her body and gave her a peculiar appearance. Yen didn't hurry to cultivate. He observed Audrey instead. She had absorbed the 3 souls at incipient god realm that he had exchanged with his wind thunderstones into her sea of consciousness. Then Audrey used her power Upanishad to mince them into several thousand soul wisps. They then moved through her veins as she used them to increase her power, making her bones and veins more tenacious. Yen observed her for a while and then smiled. He nodded his head. Audrey was touched because Yen didn't conceal anything Tu Shir-Chi had told Forefather Dragon Lizard. She was trying her best to implement that method. Audrey's usual method was to use the soul to cultivate her soul altar. She hadn't made them move through her body. She did it differently this time because her mind changed. Now she knew that she should focus on refining her veins, blood, and bones. It was to prepare for her breakthrough to the territory ancestor realm. She was always a smart woman. When she heard of a technique, of course, she knew how to make use of it. The members of Imperial Dark Tribe had always focused on cultivating the soul, as the soul was the key to their power Upanishad. They didn't really cultivate their bodies. Her way of cultivating today had escaped the original method of Imperial Dark Tribe. With only Sure Yan's one-sided words, she had discarded her tribal methods to start a whole new way of cultivating. It had proven that she was tough and resolute. Also, she trusted Sure Yan wholeheartedly. She thought that Sure Yan would never lie to her, and his words were real and as precious as jades and pearls. Sure Yan was happy for her. He believed that with her innate talents and wisdom, once she found the right direction, she would create amazing achievements later. A lightning bolt flashed in his head and cut all turbulent thoughts. Sure Yan became lucid immediately. Without a piece of a junk thought, the orange jade jar the dragon lizard had given him emerged in front of him. After a flash, the jar exploded and revealed a strange pellet. The pellet was as big as a longan fruit, and it was brilliant despite its strong herbal smell. At a closer look, the pellet was a tiny plant with mountains, lakes, forests, buildings, and even rain and lightning. Sure Yan's eyes became strange as he observed the pellet. He could even see many skeletons inside the buildings. The immortal pellet used a level 7 life star as the foundation and billions of lives on it as the source of energy. Only supernatural experts could refine this sort of pellet. They had shrunk an entire planet billions of times to make it a pellet that could act as the creator to help a third sky of incipient god realm reach the immortal realm. He used to think that it was a fake product. However, after observing the pellet, he had no doubt. A peculiar pellet that looked like a small planet. What could it be if not the immortal pellet? Sure, Yin opened his mouth to draw the immortal pellet made of an entire life star into his mouth. It followed his stomach and flew directly toward the god power ancient tree in his lower abdomen. The immortal pellet fell on the god power ancient tree and began to beat like a heart while releasing flows of pure energy. Instantly, innumerable rivers of energy rolled torrentially inside his veins and made his energy fluctuate earth-shakingly. At the same time, he found that billions of souls and soul consciousness of the creatures on the planet had turned into a current of pure soul energy storming toward his soul altar. The pure soul energy fell into his sea of consciousness and impacted with dark energy there. It happened like magnificent fireworks blooming and sending countless beams of light. They sparkingly flooded the tier of power Upanishads, heaven flames, and his host soul. Space, death, and life, and star power Upanishads seemed to be stimulated. They used to be separated, but now they suddenly merged into one. It was so strange. A feeling he couldn't describe moved through his heart to the soul altar. He felt as if he had returned to the fountainhead of power Upanishads and was wandering around the seas of death, space, life, and star power Upanishads. The host soul was perplexed. It seemed to leave his body to the world that could receive endless vitality, where he could be everlasting and undying. Rumors said that people at the immortal realm had endless longevity. For example, after the holy beast Azure Dragon had reached the immortal realm, he had lived 100,000 years and he was still vigorous. He had escaped the principle of the life cycle. It was something that incipient god realm experts couldn't do. Although they had long lives, their souls and bodies aged several thousand years. If their vitality got drained, their souls were weakened altogether. If they couldn't reach the immortal realm, at the end of their life cycle, they withered and died like an old, shriveled tree. Only breaking through to a mortal realm would make them immortal. At that time, they could distort nature's principles. They would live forever with abundant vitality. Their souls would always be sound and vigorous, unless they were killed by stronger experts who could drain their vitality and erase their soul seals. On theory, the immortal realm experts could live forever. It was the immortal realm. The fusion of his power Upanishads and Shur Yan's host soul made him feel something magical. However, another soul of his was placid. He found that the heaven flames that hadn't had any progress were stimulated by the immortal pellet. Slowly, they were about to fuse with each other again. Besides the primal chaos sacred flame, the other flames had stuck together magically and created a magnificent, colorful sea of flame. At first, they were like bands of a torn fabric sheet. Right now, they were slowly gathering as if they wanted to fully recover. The heaven flame tier had become a sea of fire. Shur Yan's co-soul drifted above the sea of fire and looked at the heaven flames fusing with each other. An immortal pellet had triggered many things magical to his body. While he was heading to the immortal realm, many things strange in his body burned. The commotions that Shur Yan and Audrey had created when they were cultivating weren't small. Soon, Evelyn's and the members of the Heavenly Eye clan had recognized the strange commotions. They gathered outside the room Shur Yan and Audrey were cultivating in. The stone room was closed, but the energy fluctuating inside was really chaotic and formidable. Apparently, it was turbulent energy that appeared when someone was breaking through. Audrey is reaching second sky of incipient God realm, and that man is entering the immortal realm. Evelyn's had experience. He understood it right away. Now we need to watch over them. During this time, we won't allow the members of the Dragon Lizard clan to enter the place. It seems like we got the immortal pellet after meeting up with Forefather Dragon Lizard. Masha looked yearning. She had followed her 2 seniors to this place with the hope of getting one of the immortal pellets. Today, seeing Shur Yan cultivate with that pellet, she admired him a lot. Sigh, we don't have this fortune, but if he can reach the immortal realm with his dark energy, his competence will be extremely formidable, said Evelyn's with a lot of emotions. Chapter 1386, Cut the Flesh. Chapter 1386, Cut the Flesh on her. Dragon Lizard Star had a massive pit where a lot of special palaces and buildings specified to serve different clans were built. They even built lakes with some islets for water tribe members to stay in. It was the gathering area of second-class clans. Delegations from different clans didn't need to endure staying inside the stone caves of the Dragon Lizard clan. They could stay in this area with more suitable conditions. Just like Dule, Walker was one of Forefather Dragon Lizard's subordinates who was in charge of this area. He had second sky of Immortal Realm. While discussing important matters with Yuan Mo of the Water Tribe, Walker suddenly felt his heart beat faster. He looked outside and his face changed immediately. He left the palace where the Water Tribe stayed quickly. Yuan Mo was the Water Tribe's handsome man who Shur Yan and Audrey had encountered on the way here. At this moment, Yuan Mo lifted his head, his face solemn. Singh was coming with countless departed souls and ghosts underneath his body like a big, dark cloud. There were hundreds of thousands of them, and it pressured people terrifyingly. Singh slowly descended with many members of the Soul clan, serving him respectfully. Also, he had many souls of beautiful women who looked both cold and elegant as they massaged his shoulders and legs. They made his emergence more dazzling. A crowd of many warriors from different second-class clans were gathering and seeing Singh of the Soul clan descending arrogantly. They discolored and lowered their voices. The Earth Ghoul tribe lodged near here. So many people had seen Bargo leave with rage. As they saw Singh come, they thought that he wanted to find Bargo to ask for some information or to request them to find Tushar Chi and his wife. Many people knew this. They thought that Singh came personally because the Earth Ghoul tribe was slow in reporting their works. Yuan Mo was the head of the water tribe by chance this time. Since they didn't get along well with the Earth Ghoul tribe, Yuan Mo knew a lot of things. Seeing Sing come, he was anxious because he was worried that Sing would trouble the water tribe. A graceful figure emerged from a quiet tower in the palace behind him. It was a plump woman who wore a long blue cloak that embraced her round rear end. Her face was covered under a jade mask, which looked ferocious like a demon showing its fangs. She moved slightly and reappeared inaudibly by Yuan Mo. A pair of deep azure eyes looked at Sing, and a soft voice came. "Don't worry. I'm here with you guys. Sing won't dare to do anything to you. Yeah, he doesn't look like he came because of you guys." The life energy on her body was vague, and her breath wasn't steady. She gave people an impression of something from a fantasy. Only Yuan Mo knew that the fearsome mask she was wearing had covered her earth-shaking aura. It made her ordinary, which didn't draw attention from others. As Yuan Mo knew her identity, his words and gestures showed his respect. He bowed and said, "I'm afraid that Sing will cause trouble when he finds you." The woman chuckled. "Sing is just a commander in the Soul Clan. Even if he finds me here, there will be no trouble. Yeah, I came here this time because of the forefather dragon lizard's immortal pellet. I just want to find an item that can secure my junior's breakthrough. Sing won't dare to provoke me." Listening to her, Yuan Mo could finally rest his restless mind. He still kept his body bent. Then he lifted his head to look at Sing, wondering why he came here this time. "Is that Walker?" Sing's dark voice arose and echoed around this large pit. Apparently, he didn't want to conceal his intentions. Walker was at second sky of Immortal Realm. He was one of the experts with a profound cultivation base in the Dragon Lizard Clan. Hearing Sing's question, he answered with a stern face, "I'm here. I don't want to walk around the bush. Bargo of the Earth Ghoul tribe. His soul lamp is extinguished. His soul must be destroyed. I just want to know who did it." Sing had a cold light sparkle in his eyes. His voice thundered and reached each palace in this massive pit. "If you want to hit my dog, you have to look at my face first. Bargo is my Soul Clan's hound. I want to know who killed him." Apparently, he came to send his punitive forces arrogantly. The energy from his body fluctuated fiercely. So many vague souls were conjured. They turned into a gruesome mountain and bobbed behind him, showing fangs and claws. A wisp of soul consciousness was sent toward the second-class forces to find the possible murderer at the High Realm. Sing had never thought that Barago would be killed by Shiryen, a warrior at incipient God Realm. He thought that the one who could kill Barago had an equivalent realm. He assumed that the murder was here and mingling in the crowd. He had a premonition that it was too sure cheese trick. He had to find them quickly. With this recent deed, he didn't put the Dragon Lizard Clan or Walter in his eyes. "Bargo is dead." Walker pretended to know nothing. He shook his head with a bewildered countenance. "I didn't know that. Please give me more time. After I find the results, I will answer to you." He had received the news from Dulé, but he wanted to stall for as long as possible. "Mwahaha, I know it's related to the Heavenly Eye clan. They're just a third-class clan. They dared to attack a clan dependent on our Soul Clan. I think this Heavenly Eye clan doesn't want to live anymore." Sing smiled darkly. "I'm going to search to see if they're here. Then I will check every corner. I don't think I can't find them." While talking, his soul consciousness moved around like a gust of wind, rummaging through the entire area. Many palaces of the second-class clans were under attack. The warriors in there felt their soul altars flicker anxiously. They were so scared. No one dared to shout or curse. They knew that they weren't an equal match to the Soul Clan, and they knew that Sing was powerful. They could only endure it. Sing's soul Tonda swept around and entered the lake of the Water Tribe, reaching Yuan Mo. Shortly after, Sing looked baffled. He hesitated for a while and then glided through Walker, heading to the water tribe. He looked at the plump woman with the fearsome mask and asked with a stern face, "Who are you?" The woman sneered and said faintly, "I'm here for the forefather dragon lizard's immortal pellet." "Right. There's something I want to make clear." She turned to Yuan Mo of the water tribe. "From now on, our Phantom clan will protect the water tribe. I hope that the chief of the Soul clan will pay attention and not let your dogs bark and bite around." Singh discolored and gazed at the woman, furrowing his brows. "Is Borrego's death related to you?" "Do you think that kind of thing is worth my effort?" sneered the woman. Singh contemplated and then nodded. "I'll talk to the Earth Ghoul forefather so they don't trouble the water tribe furthermore. Our Soul clan doesn't have any dispute with your Phantom clan. I don't expect that the two clans will fight against each other because of the Earth Ghoul tribe and the water tribe." Then he nodded to say farewell to her without his haughty visage. He left immediately to another area. He didn't care about Walker because he didn't really consider the Dragon Lizard clan important or dangerous. Yuan Mo was tense. Seeing Singh proactively say that he would ask the Earth Ghoul's forefather to control his tribe, Yuan Mo was very excited. He thought that his water tribe had made the right decision to be dependent on the Phantom clan. They wouldn't need to give way to the Earth Ghoul tribe anymore. Finally, he understood how good it was to have a big backup. Then he turned to Walker of the Dragon Lizard clan and sighed. The Dragon Lizard clan was also a second-class force. Before Lizard had disappeared, the Dragon Lizard clan had been the overlord in this area. Even the territory ancestor realm experts of the 7 clans had to respect him, and every other clan had to be afraid of his clan. After Lizard had returned to Mother Earth and the forefather dragon, Lizard, the second generation couldn't break through to territory ancestor realm. The Dragon Lizard clan gradually declined, and now even the Earth Ghoul tribe dared to bully them. Yuan Mo thought that only if the Dragon Lizard clan agreed to follow one of the 7 great clans, they would have steadied and they would have been able to stand upright again. Otherwise, their lives were going to be much more difficult later. The Soul clan and the mysterious Sky clan have often battled. Now they don't dare to offend me. "Don't worry," said the woman, her voice hiding her proud feelings. As the Phantom clan was one of the 7 great clans, their overall competence wasn't weaker than the Soul clan. It was the reason why she got excited. "There's something I want to tell you. On the way here, we met the members of the Heavenly Eye clan. They went together with a couple who came from desolate territory. They seemed lost. They wanted to find their way home through Singh's brutal soul called Ming Hong." Yuan Mo suddenly recalled the event. "I remembered that you guys were interested in desolate territory. I wonder if you can use this information. Someone from desolate territory got lost." The woman's eyes sparkled strangely and showed her interest. "It's strange. It seems like the Dragon Lizard clan is trying to protect them. It's inexplicable. It seems like the friendship between Singh and Dragon Lizard isn't as close as it was rumored." She pondered and then said, "You guys have a good relationship with the Dragon Lizard clan. Can you arrange for me to meet forefather Dragon Lizard? Right? You can tell them my identity. Perhaps Dragon Lizard will find me interesting." "Okay, let me try." Yuan Mo lifted his head and called Walker. "Walker, brother, please get down here so we can talk for a while." Lava pond. Extremely terrifying roaring and shrieking came from inside the lava pond while the entire pond seethed torrentially. Tu Shih and his wife Yin were using their powers Upanishad to create layers of barriers sealing this area and making it soundproof. They didn't want others to recognize the commotion here. The clone of Dragon Lizard floated above the pond and released the ultimate energy fluctuations as he was trying to pull something under the pond. After a while, a big chunk of red meat emerged from the scorching lava pond and floated up. It was bloody, and the veins in the meat were still full of blood. A palm-sized, 3-legged cauldron stuck on a small spot on the meat. It was connected to a vein like a blood-sucking leech. Dragon Lizard looked ashen when he coughed and tried to subside his anger. This soul-refining cauldron has stuck on my flesh. Once it detaches from my flesh, Sing will know immediately. I have to do that. I have to cut a piece of meat to deceive him. He won't know what I've done. Forefather, you're not an ordinary warrior indeed. You can clench your jaw to cut off a big chunk of meat like that. This time, Sing will receive his bad luck, a praise too Shurchi. He knew that a creature like Forefather Dragon Lizard would have to endure tremendous pain when he cut off the meat that had contained his power. This old monster had made up his mind to do that to eliminate the threat from the soul-refining cauldron without letting Sing know. Since Sing has done this to me, of course, I must let him taste my power. He thought he could bully me. Damn it! Dragon Lizard was foul-mouthed as he was outraged. This time, not only will I kill Sing, but that bastard from the Earth Ghoul tribe will also be taken care of. They thought the Soul Clan could protect them, so they have provoked us a lot. Those damned ghouls. Our mysterious Sky Clan will be your backup. We will try our best to help you. Tu Shurchi laughed excitedly. Chapter 1387 Festival. Chapter 1387 Festival under Sir. Du Lei stood in front of the door of the stone hall, his face dark and uncertain. Many guards of the Dragon Lizard clan were gathering around him. Most of them had relatively high realms. We must use our life energy to conceal the aura inside. We have to ensure that Sing can't find the commotion here. After a while, Du Lei let out a low shout. At this moment, Sing was in the area where the Dragon Lizard clan accommodated the warriors from many clans. He was raking around and trying to use his soul consciousness to find the Heavenly Eye clan members. He wanted to pull the murderers who killed the Earth Ghoul tribe warriors out of their cave. Du Lei knew that Forefather Dragon Lizard was trying his best to get rid of the Soul Clan's soul-refining cauldron. For the time being, he couldn't come out to solve this problem. Now they had to ensure that Soul Clan, Audrey, and the others were all right. Right when Sing began his search, he immediately came to this hall to take Shuryen and Audrey out of Dragon Lizard Star. However, Evelyn's told him that Shuryen and Audrey were cultivating and they were at the critical moment of their breakthrough. They couldn't be disturbed now. Troubles came together. Du Lei had a terrible headache. He didn't have any solution better than calling the experts at his realm to this area. Du Lei, I heard that Forefather wants to attack Sing. Di Feng, who is also at second sky of Immortal Realm, asked with a fierce, bloodthirsty countenance. I've endured those bastards of the Earth Ghoul tribe for long enough. If our Forefather has made up his mind, I'll be the first one to attack them. Don't say such nonsense. We have to take care of the main business first. We can't let Sing discover this area. Otherwise, we can't answer Forefather's questions, shouted Du Lei. Di Feng threw a glance at the hall behind him and said disdainfully, Will our Forefather be irritated because of the members of the Heavenly Eye clan and the two kids at Incipient God Realm? One of them has dark energy. He talked to Forefather. Forefather asked us to ensure that he won't get murdered. Du Lei screamed, Don't babble. Do it quickly. It'll be a lot of trouble if Sing comes here. The warrior who controls dark energy. The warriors of the Dragon Lizard clan at Immortal Realm became bewildered from listening to Du Lei. They turned around to look at the door of the room Shuryen and Audrey were cultivating in, their faces odd. Right after that, the Immortal Realm experts put on serious faces when the life energy emitted from their bodies like mist that naked eyes could observe. Slowly, that mist shrouded the entire stone hall. Du Lei's team was using their life energy to create a barrier that could prevent Sing's soul consciousness from searching. They had to do that because their realm wasn't great enough to prevent Sing from searching. If they wanted to stop him, they had to use their life energy with their second sky of Immortal Realm. After they had successfully set up the barrier, They all looked weak, sitting and guarding the stone hall. The other members of the dragon lizard clan stood and waited, protecting their precursors. They were afraid of an unexpected situation. Now, Singh took his Soul Clan warriors and moved around the accommodations of the other clans on Dragon, Lizard Star. They had created a loud commotion, indeed. He had used his third sky of immortal cultivation base to check around and search the members of the Heavenly Eye clan. Singh didn't really want to take revenge for Bargo. He wanted to find the fascinating Divine Eye, Tushar Chi and his wife from the mysterious Sky Clan. Inside the stone hall, the members of Heavenly Eye Clan Evelyn's Adams and Masha were sitting in a triangular formation right in front of Sher Yan's door. They were also alertly waiting as they were very afraid that someone would disturb them at a critical moment. Inside the training chamber, soul energy twirled around Audrey with many soul filaments. Her body reflected brilliant illusions. A flow of pure soul energy circled her for a while and then slowly entered her soul altar. Her mental state slowly steadied. Her God Power Ancient Tree was filled with surging energy. Then dim light rays emitted from her body and made her illusory. Sure, Yen was sitting across the yard. His body was flashing continuously. Brutal energy shot out from his body. When he reached the immortal realm, negative energy in his acupuncture points discharged to keep his body clean. Wisps of negative energy hovered and scattered around the training yard. When Audrey urged her power, Upanishad, the wisps of her soul also fluttered. When they contacted with the negative energies, they became restless and uneasy, so they began to swallow the beams of negative energy. The departed souls and spirits she got became more sinister and brutal after they absorbed Sher Yan's negative energy. Audrey's soul altar was also affected by Sher Yan's aura. She could feel a deeper connection with him. Time flew hurriedly. Inside Sher Yan's head, besides the primal chaos-scared flame, the other flames were fusing with each other and turning into a vast sea of fire. The wonders of chilly to the bone coldness, flashing lightning appeared one after another on Sher Yan's body. It looked like he had mastered many different power Upanishads. When Sher Yan's heaven flames finally fused, a burning light column shot out of Sher Yan's head and rocketed into the sky. The dome above the training court burned and melted. The heaven flame shot up into the sky and burned a hole in the barrier that Dulay's team had used their life energy to create. The heaven flame continued to burn the cave and got out, shooting into the sky. Water tribe's accommodation. A scorching flame shot out of the lake where they stayed. Yuan Emo changed his visage. Many members of the water tribe around were panic-stricken. They gathered as they didn't know what had just happened. The voluptuous, masked woman of the Phantom Clan emerged like a spirit above the lake. Her dark eyes gazed at the scorching light column. What a formidable original flame! Only absolute beginning creatures could control the original flame. What's going on? Has something magical happened to Forefather Dragon Lizard? She pondered for a while and then shook her head. She mumbled, "Nope, it's not true. Lizard didn't cultivate original flame. An original flame can't be inherited. How could he get it?" She was frightened when a possibility popped up in her mind. Is there another absolute beginning creature on this planet? Her beautiful eyes were surprised as she said, "You guys stay here. I'm going there to check. This situation is strange indeed." Yuan Emo nodded. At the same time, Singh was down because he couldn't find the Heavenly Eye clan members after searching for a long time. When the heaven flame column pierced through the barrier and shot through the lake of the water tribe, Singh was hovering above a cluster of clouds made of departed souls and ghosts. His eyes brightened immediately and he laughed evilly. He immediately stormed to the stone hall, the lava pond underground. Forefather Dragon Lizard and Tushar Chi also felt a tremendous commotion. Tushar Chi closed his eyes to sense for a while. He got frightened immediately. It's that kid's aura. However, it's obviously the absolute beginning creature's original flame. How could it be? Yin was dumbstruck. He refined desolate, didn't he? I don't know. Tu Shih forced a smile. He didn't understand it, either. Although Forefather Dragon Lizard didn't know much about dark energy, his precursor was Lizard, so his understanding of the absolute beginning creatures was much more profound than Tu Shih and Yin's. He contemplated and then confirmed. It's a soul wisp of the absolute beginning creature fused with his soul seal to create a second soul. His second soul has some magical powers of the absolute beginning creatures. I think all the experts on the Dragon Lizard clan have recognized such a tremendous commotion. Sing will come soon. What should we do now? Asked Yin. Are you okay? Tu Shih looked at Forefather Dragon Lizard. Suddenly, Forefather Dragon Lizard burst out laughing crazily. It's time for a festival. You guys are going to witness me change Dragon Lizard Star. Then, the screeching and howling that could shake the entire place came from the scorching lava pond. From outer space, Dragon Lizard Star was like a massive, throbbing heart. So many pieces of broken stars and asteroids began to move. The entire Dragon Lizard Star was like a giant magic cube that was changing continuously. An area suddenly emerged, as if some force had dragged it up. The massive pits, where the third-class and second-class alien tribes lodged scattered around Dragon Lizard Star, where there were previously intact asteroids. Now they were detaching from Dragon Lizard Star as if the planet was dissolving. From the sea domain of Nihility's point of view, Dragon Lizard Star was like a globe where everything on it was moving. Dragon Lizard Star slowly became a flat continent. It was now a flat continent created by so many broken stars and asteroids. The members of different clans staying in different areas now emerged on different sections of the continent, which all faced the palace in the center. The light column of the original flame shot out from that palace. Du Lei's team was still guarding the front of the stone hall. However, they all grimaced. Sigh. Forefather has chosen this moment to hold the festival. I don't know what he has in his mind. When Dragon Lizard Star turns into a continent, it can't hide anything. Our whereabouts are exposed. Sing will come here soon. Du Lei forced a smile. He knew that Dragon Lizard Star wasn't a real planet. It was formed by countless pieces of broken asteroids. When Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body had some commotion, the entire star shook. When he moved the pieces of broken stars and asteroids to turn Dragon Lizard Star into Dragon Lizard Continent, it was the time of the festival and the worshipping of an ancestor. However, his timing wasn't right. Right now, the warriors of the second-class and third-class clans had seen the original flame in the center, so they were congregating. Those warriors had sensed the absolute beginning creature from that original flame. They were so excited and they stormed like clouds of grasshoppers. They were so curious. The women of the Phantom clan wanted to get deeper into the lake to check what was going on down there. However, when the entire planet changed, she came with the members of the Water Tribe to the stone hall. Her beautiful eyes shot out strange light. The aura of the absolute beginning creature. Haha, it's the aura of the absolute beginning creature. Sing roared. His body floated above the massive mountain made of souls and ghosts as he stormed forward and stumbled people in his way. The members of the Heavenly Eye clan are there too. Excellent. I want to see how you can hide now. He walked to Du Lei's team, his face dark and sinister. He looked at the ground and shouted, Hey, old friend Dragon Lizard, the earth and sky are shaking. You should come out and watch. Yeah. I want to know if you still consider me your friend. Friend? Haha, you're a really good friend. Forefather Dragon Lizard's voice was like thunder that came with tremors. His clone appeared with a red face and waves of terrifying energy. Chapter 1388 Conflict. Chapter 1388 Conflict. Another. Dragon lizard star changed from a planet to a flat continent due to forefather dragon lizard's earth-shaking commotion that moved the mountain and leveled the sea. It now appeared as an uneven continent created by pieces of broken stars and asteroids that functioned as tiles on a square. From the horizon, this continent was rough with many deep gorges, strange mountains, caves, and palaces. Now, an original flame column was shooting up into the sky through the dome of a palace in the center of Dragon Lizard Star. The members of the Dragon Lizard clan at Second Sky of Immortal Realm, like Dule and Defong, still guarded the stone hall and focused on watching the moves of the alien tribes around. The masked woman with a sexy body from the Phantom Clan was with Yuan Mo's delegation. They came by the stone hall and looked bewildered. Hovering in midair, many aliens were watching with surprised and excited countenances. They knew that the forefather dragon, Lizard, wanted to carry out the worship of their ancestor and the festival. A long, long time ago, before Lizard died, the Dragon Lizard clan had periodically held the festival. At that time, the Dragon Lizard clan was the leading clan of this area. The members of the other clans had to come to meet Lizard when the time came to show their respect. Lizard held the festival and invited leaders and outstanding experts of the surrounding clans. During the festival, he would explain and teach them the true meanings of power Upanishads and the secrets of the absolute beginning creatures. The Dragon Lizard clan's festival attracted surrounding clans, and even the 7 great clans had to send their delegations to join them. However, after Lizard was gone, the festival wasn't as lively and bustling as before. Although Dragon Lizard, the second generation, still held the festival, most of the participants came under their precursors' orders to worship Lizard and show their gratefulness. Their precursors had received many benefits from Lizard, who explained the power Upanishads. Although Lizard was gone, they were still thankful for him. Whenever the Dragon Lizard clan held the festival, they would send their juniors to worship Lizard. Forefather Dragon Lizard also knew that their festival wasn't as attractive as it used to be. Thus, they often used precious treasures of the clan to exchange with others. For example, the immortal pellet was definitely attractive enough. Because of the pellets, many alien tribes had come regardless of the long journey they had to make to get there. The Phantom Clan woman was near then, and she also came because of the immortal pellets. Sing screamed all the way, knocking over a lot of warriors in his way. He quickly reached the stone hall. So many ghosts and departed souls were floating underneath him like a school of fish. There were 7 brutal souls who were continuously swallowing weak souls around them. They were growing rapidly and turning into brutal ghosts who were more than 30 meters tall. They moved and screamed like vicious ruffians behind Sing with earth-shaking auras. One of those brutal souls was Ming Hong. After Sing had refined him, he couldn't help but follow Sing's orders. He was now a roaring, brutal soul too. Ming Hong roared and became bewildered. His evil eyes flashed as he struggled. Finally, he became sane. He was hovering behind Sing, and he saw Audrey cultivating inside the stone hall down there. At this moment, Audrey was releasing a lot of soul fibers with familiar energy fluctuations. Ming Hong looked at her and recognized her identity immediately. Audrey was cultivating the soul technique that only Imperial Dark Tribe knew. Also, Audrey's aura was the familiar aura of Imperial Dark Tribe. Sing had kept him for so many years in the sea domain of nihility. He had no way to escape, and he had never met anyone from desolate territory. Today, he found a member of his clan who was absolutely his relative. Ming Hong was stunned. Although Sing could control him, he still had his own consciousness. His thoughts flickered fast, and he pretended to know nothing. He didn't dare to look at Audrey, as he was afraid that Sing could spot something. At this moment, Sing was still shouting and screaming. He called for Forefather Dragon Lizard. Forefather Dragon Lizard laughed loudly, flew up, and floated above the stone hall while looking at Sing. My good friend, oh, my good friend. I don't know why you are protecting 3 juniors of the Heavenly Eye clan. They killed my men. For our friendship. Will you give me a good explanation for that? Sing wore a dark and sinister face. In front of many aliens, he began to interrogate Dragon Lizard. Sing didn't feel right because of Dragon Lizard clan's strange attitude. It's our Dragon Lizard clan's territory. The Earth Ghoul tribe members didn't respect our rules. They attempted to kill our guests. They were killed because of that. Do you want me to take responsibility for that? Forefather Dragon Lizard sneered faintly. He rose one hand and layers of light fell, covering the stone hall where Shiryen and Audrey were cultivating. He looked at Sing and said, Sing, your dogs are taking it too far. They don't even respect me. You're their master. Shouldn't you strictly punish them? Sing put on a dark face and stayed quiet. Oh, what's going on over there? The woman of the Phantom clan frowned. Their relationship isn't that bad, is it? I don't understand. Yuan, Mo of the Water Tribe, didn't understand it, either. I'm not sure. I know that they have a good relationship. Sing came several times to meet Forefather Dragon Lizard. He was always welcomed here. It's unexpected today, though. What happened? Is there a conflict between them? Asked an alien. Is it because of the Earth Ghoul tribe? Recently, the Earth Ghoul tribe has acted too far. They don't respect the Dragon Lizard clan at all. We couldn't even imagine that they would dare to act rashly in this festival. Perhaps they've enraged Forefather Dragon Lizard. Yeah, maybe. Sigh, it's too bad that Lizard is gone. Otherwise, the Earth Ghoul tribe would have been cleared a long time ago. I remember the time when Lizard was here. Even the 7 great clans had to respect the Dragon Lizard clan well. It seems like without a territory ancestor, the clan could decline. It's true indeed. No wonder why Dragon Lizard has tried any mean to break through to territory ancestor realm. He won't regret paying any price to do that. He even used the immortal pellets to exchange for a chance to break through. Many members of the alien clans around discussed with each other while Sing stayed quiet. They were so surprised anyway. Sing's face was dark and sinister. His eyes raked through the crowd and made them chilled to the bones. They had to stoop to avoid his eyes. When his line of sight fell on the masked woman of the Phantom clan, he was bewildered for a while. He nodded to her and didn't look further. Yeah, the Earth Ghoul tribe made mistakes this time. Old friend, please forgive us. I will warn the Earth Ghoul tribe's forefather and make him control his later generations. I'm here this time to observe and learn from the experience at your festival. I hope you can understand me. Sing took a deep breath and squeezed a smile. Turning around, his eyes were so cold. All of a sudden, a brutal soul attacked the remaining members of the Earth Ghoul tribe delegation. In their screeching, the Earth Ghoul tribe warriors were torn apart. Eventually, their souls were swallowed. The remaining members of the Earth Ghoul tribe were eliminated shortly after. The onlookers felt so chilled that their hair rised. They were scared because of Sing's wicked deed. I didn't know anything. They deceived me and covered my eyes with lies. Yeah, I've made up for it. Brother Dragon Lizard, I wonder if you feel satisfied now? Sing chuckled and retrieved his brutal soul. He didn't even bat an eye on the pulp of flesh on the ground where the Earth Ghoul tribe members had just stood. So cruel. Yuan Mo mumbled. The masked woman of the Phantom clan was a little bewildered. Sing is indeed ruthless. He's worthy of his reputation. To receive Dragon Lizard's approval, he didn't hesitate to destroy the others. Right, he has guts. No wonder why he's the commander of the Soul Clan. Fierce. Then, she turned to look at Forefather Dragon Lizard. The onlookers also turned to him. They wanted to see how Dragon Lizard would react to Sing's brutal deed. Also, many warriors were observing the stone hall. They wanted to know what was inside the hall. In this Vast universe. They could count the number of the absolute beginning creatures with their fingers. This area had no absolute beginning creature after Lizard left. And now they saw the column of original flame from the hall with the absolute beginning creature's aura. Instinctively, they related it to Lizard. They had become more curious after Forefather Dragon Lizard had covered the entire stone hall. They guessed that it was something important to the Dragon Lizard clan. Although Singh was admitting his mistake to Dragon Lizard, his eyes sparkled as he gazed at the stone hall with a lot of doubts. If you say so, it's done then. You don't need to warn that Earth Ghoul's forefather. If he messes around, I will go talk to him directly. Forefather Dragon Lizard grinned and gave Singh a curt nod. Yeah, the junior inside the hall is related to my precursor. He will stay and cultivate here for a while. People, please. You don't need to be curious. He threw a glance at the stone hall. People became more baffled upon hearing him. When they looked at the stone hall, they were frightened. If someone was related to Lizard, was he an absolute beginning creature too? Ahem. At that moment, the woman from the Phantom Clan gave a slight cough. She walked to Forefather Dragon Lizard from the Water Tribes group. Her pair of azure eyes sparkled strangely as she smiled. I heard that Forefather Dragon Lizard has some immortal pellets, so I came. I wonder what should I do to exchange for the pellets. Dragon Lizard looked at her, his face becoming stern. And who are you? I'm from the Phantom Clan, said the woman. Hearing her, many warriors around screamed in astonishment. Their eyes sparkled in strange light when they focused on her. Many male warriors felt their blood boil in excitement. They heard that the female warriors of the Phantom Clan were born with glamour and they had mastered the mind technique. With a wink or laughter, they could capture people's souls. They were the beautiful dreams in the hearts of male warriors from many tribes. Chapter 1389, Immortal Realm. Chapter 1389, Immortal Realm, Undersir. Among the 7 clans, the Phantom Clan was mysterious and strange. Men would control everything in the other clans, but the Phantom Clan thought the opposite way. Women ruled the Phantom Clan. They preferred female warriors as opposed to male warriors. Women held high positions in the Phantom Clan, and most of the powerful experts in this clan were women. Women were the royals and the overlords of this clan. The Phantom Clan women were famous for their glamour that could enchant people. Each of them was outstandingly beautiful with a graceful body, and they all mastered the seducing technique with their innate talents. The Phantom Clan had so many warriors, but most of them were female. The woman with the fearsome mask revealing her identity had stirred up the crowd of warriors gathering by the stone hall. They all shot lustful, naked looks at her. Some even gulped as if they hated that they couldn't swallow her right away. The woman giggled and didn't mind those lecherous people. She just looked at Forefather Dragon Lizard and said gently, I came here with sincerity. I'm very interested in the immortal pellets you have. I wonder what you want to exchange for these pellets. Any materials, scriptures, or experiences that could help me reach the Territory Ancestor realm. If I consider it useful, you can exchange it for immortal pellets. Forefather Dragon Lizard's eyes became crimson. His muscles twisted with each other and looked like they were made of reinforced concrete. It gave people a sense of toughness and vigor. While talking, he stooped to see Audrey and Shi Yan inside the stone hall. He suddenly looked shocked as strange but brilliant light shot from his eyes. Inside the training chamber, Shi Yan was emitting fire. His fire had many colors including yellow, orange, blue, and even green. So many flames flew around like beautiful butterflies dancing around him and released magical, colorful light. A flow of energy that switched from cold to hot and vice versa continuously burst out. Different attributes of fire gathered and resulted in a hot, red flame. Sizzle! Sizzle! The stone hall was made of some kind of rare black iron and cold jade. At this moment, it sizzled like ice in boiled water. The entire hall melted. While the heaven flames were burning, the massive stone hall was like an ice cream burning above the fire. Shortly after, the entire stone hall became water. Strangely, Audrey was cultivating in front of Shiryen, but she wasn't burned by the heaven flames. Her cold face turned slightly red, but she was still calm. The soul filaments on her body were retrieved. She exhaled and relaxed. Eventually, she opened her eyes. She jolted up. A cold light glided, and she reappeared behind Shiryen, her face vigilant. Because the entire hall melted, Evelyn's, Adams, and Masha felt so annoyed. They couldn't endure the terrifying heat of the heaven flame, so they had to move away. The hall was melted, revealing Shiryen, who was sitting cross-legged with closed eyes. People had their eyes fixed on him. They were different visages, and they were astounded. They had felt the aura of the absolute beginning creature's original flame. But Shiryen wasn't an absolute beginning creature. People were confused. Of course, it wasn't that no one knew anything about this. As soon as Shiryen was revealed, Singh and the woman from the Phantom Clan had their eyes brighten. It seemed like they had recalled something through Shiryen. Singh especially suddenly laughed. His dark eyes lit up with a greedy light. He licked his lips. He has a wisp of the absolute beginning creature's soul. Excellent. Really excellent. Mwahaha. The beautiful eyes of the Phantom Clan woman twinkled. She quietly moved closer to Shiryen. Forefather Dragon Lizard frowned and spoke in a serious voice. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to make it clear again. This kid is our Dragon Lizard clan's distinguished guest. If anyone offends him, you're offending our Dragon Lizard clan. Before he got out of the lava pond, Tu Shirchi and Yun had solemnly asked him to protect Shiryen. Shiryen had told him about the soul refining cauldron, which had saved him from Singh's dark scheme. From the bottom of his heart, he knew he owed Shiryen a favor. Thus, he proactively agreed with them. Dragon Lizard, brother, it seems like you have hope for your breakthrough this time. You've been subtle for a long time. It turns out that you found a good seed. You make us admire you a lot. Singh suddenly laughed eccentrically, his laughter rising the hair on people's napes. He assumed that Shiryen was just a flesh cauldron that Dragon Lizard had found to help his breakthrough. He thought that Dragon Lizard nurtured Shiryen so he could swallow Shiryen later to absorb the absolute beginning creature's soul and make it a part of his life soul. Almost every absolute beginning creature could understand dark energy. Shiryen's realm was a little low. He couldn't fuse all the heaven flames or trigger the memories in the absolute beginning creature's soul he got. If Dragon Lizard refined him and opened the absolute beginning creature's soul, he would break through to Territory Ancestor Realm immediately and get the magical abilities of dark energy. The cultivating technique of dark energy should be contained in the absolute beginning creature's soul. Singh thought that he knew what Dragon Lizard wanted to do. Singh sneered inwardly as he was actually so excited. This trip to the Dragon Lizard star was going to help him harvest a lot of good things. Because of the soul refining cauldron, he was sure that Dragon Lizard couldn't escape his hand. After he killed Dragon Lizard, he was going to kill and refine Shiryen to get the memories of the absolute beginning creature's soul. He was going to break through to the Territory Ancestor Realm quickly and become one of the peerless experts of the Soul Clan. There wasn't going to be anything better than this. Forefather, even when you have him, do you still need the materials and secrets about the Territory Ancestor Realm? The masked woman of the Phantom Clan and Singh had the same thought. They had assumed that Shiryen was Dragon Lizard's flesh cauldron that he had found to enter the Territory Ancestor Realm. After a while, she furrowed her brows as she thought that she couldn't get anything on this trip. The aliens from different tribes couldn't understand anything. When Singh and the masked woman said this, they understood it immediately. They turned to Dragon Lizard as they all thought that Shiryen was his flesh cauldron, which he planned to use to enter Territory Ancestor Realm. Thus, they looked at Dragon Lizard, jealous and yearning. Forefather Dragon Lizard didn't know how to deny this accusation. However, hearing them, he also had this evil intention. He looked at Shi Yan in the cultivating room, his eyes uncertain. After he knew that Shi Yan got a wisp of an absolute beginning creature soul, he knew if he could refine Shi Yan to trigger that wisp of soul, he could enter Territory Ancestor Realm. Anyway, Tu Shiqi and Yin had asked him to protect Shi Yan. The recent treaty he had just established with the mysterious Sky clan made him hesitant. Watching Shi Yan, he pondered and struggled to make his choice. His eyes switched from dark to bright and around. Audrey was nervous. She felt that the situation was really bad, but she couldn't do anything. She could see Dragon Lizard hesitating and the purpose of Sing and the woman from the Phantom Clan. This situation wasn't good for them. She was so worried. After Shi Yan had revealed his co-soul, the experts had become greedy. They all had a profound realm, and she couldn't resist them. Even though she had just reached second sky of incipient God realm. She wanted to do something, but she felt powerless. She looked at Shi Yan, then Dragon, Lizard, Sing, and the woman from the Phantom Clan. Then, she recognized that she couldn't stop any of them. However, at this moment, her mind flickered as she turned to Shi Yan. The bright, colored heaven flames were like young swallows returning homes. They entered Shi Yan's body, and then Shi Yan's eyes opened. His eyes were calm and indifferent. The aura around his body was concealed. He stood up in silence. He did it. Too fast. He has broken through to the new realm too quickly. It's unimaginable. Amazing indeed. It took me 3 years to break through to the immortal realm that year. Yeah, I spent more than 1 year. How could he do it so fast? It seems like Forefather Dragon Lizard has invested in him by giving him an immortal pellet. That pellet is so good to the immortal realm breakthrough. It can even shorten the time needed. The members of many tribes gathering here discussed with each other. They seemed very surprised. The beautiful eyes of the masked woman brightened. She nodded and said gracefully, "Well, that's how the immortal pellet works. Really magical. It can shorten the time a lot. No wonder it attracted a lot of people to this area. Yeah, the result will be better with an immortal realm flesh cauldron. Haha, Dragon Lizard brother. I wish you can enter the Territory Ancestor realm soon." Sing laughed and clasped his hand to congratulate Forefather Dragon Lizard. His smiling face was so irritating to many people. Many warriors looked at Dragon Lizard, who wore a strange face now. He looked as if he was struggling a lot inwardly to make a choice. Shi Yan was strangely calm. He stood next to Audrey and raked through the crowd of hundreds of aliens. His eyes scanned the masked woman and Sing, but he didn't shoot a look at Forefather Dragon Lizard. Slowly, a strange smile was pulled on his face. The sea domain of nihility behind him suddenly emitted strange waves of energy. The free sharp space sabers flying around suddenly flew over and hovered above his head like a saw-bladed scythe of death. Asteroids and broken pieces of stars slowly rolled over grumblingly. They swarmed like a shower of rocks and covered the entire area. However, the asteroids and pieces of rocks didn't fall. They just gathered with the space sabers. All hovered still. Crack! Crack! The ground underneath Shi Yan had so many terrifying cracks in different sizes. Shortly after, the Dragon Lizard continent was torn into pieces. Shi Yan stood still, and his faint smile didn't cease. He turned to look at Audrey and said casually, "Don't worry. There are many warriors here who can defeat me. However, none of them are qualified to kill me. Haha." Then dozens of giant space sabers above his head moved as if they were giving him their confirmation. They maneuvered continuously like giant flying carriages by Shi Yan. The asteroids and broken stars were also stimulated and rolling in the void. Magically, the sharp space sabers and the asteroids didn't collide even a single time. The beautiful eyes of the masked woman from the Phantom Clan looked shocked. She gazed at the keen space sabers and the massive rocks, her soft body shaking. She screamed in fear. Space Power Upanishad and Star Power Upanishad have merged harmoniously. Even Singh discolored in fear. In this sea domain of nihility, the asteroids and broken stars were everywhere. The sharp space sabers were murdering blades. The warriors who could use the asteroids and space sabers were the opponents that people feared the most in this sea domain. Space and Star Power Upanishads were famous for their powerful and mysterious characteristics. The sea domain of nihility could strengthen the power of this sort of warrior massively. Thus, they were the absolutely toughest opponents in the sea domain. This incident had baffled many people because they had never thought that Shur Yen had both space and Star Power Upanishads. Dragon Lizard had to eliminate his bad thoughts. He smiled and said, "Little brother, you've done me a favor. How could I be so despicable to pay kindness with enmity? Where is my sense of honor?" Chapter 1390 Instigate. Chapter 1390 Instigate Usur. The alien warriors from different tribes were gathering at the center of the continent that Dragon Lizard Star had just transformed into. They all looked at Shur Yen. The sea domain of nihility had many rumors that the absolute beginning creatures could send a wisp of their souls into the warrior's head, which was an emergency exit they prepared. When the right time came, they could replace the warrior. Even if their souls were destroyed, they could resurrect themselves with just a wisp of a soul lodged in someone's head. The warriors with the second soul couldn't activate the memories of the co-soul, which was actually the absolute beginning creature's soul. If their realms weren't profound enough, they would know nothing. However, if another powerful immortal realm expert refined the soul of that sort of warrior, they could absorb the wisp of a soul of the absolute beginning creature. Then they could obtain dark energy and the secret of the absolute beginning creature's intimidation. They could even learn the supernatural abilities of their power Upanishads. That sort of warriors was the fatty, meaty dish that everyone drooled for. The experts at Third Sky of Immortal Realm would become greedy for them. No doubt that Shur Yen was this type of warrior in their eyes. Even Forefather Dragon Lizard hesitated with many new thoughts after he found out about Shur Yan's secrets. To Forefather Dragon Lizard, there wasn't going to be any method faster than refining Shur Yen to absorb the absolute beginning creature soul. It would boost him and help him enter the territory ancestor realm rapidly. In this area, there were two experts at his realm, Singh and the masked woman of the Phantom Clan. In their eyes, Shur Yen was also very attractive. Of course, the second-class clans had experts at Second Sky of Immortal Realm and a smaller number of experts at Third Sky of Immortal Realm. Although they hadn't reached the peak, they were qualified to enter Territory Ancestor Realm. If they killed and absorbed Shur Yen, they could reach Territory Ancestor Realm like carps getting over a heavenly gate to become dragons. It was truly irresistible. If Shur Yen didn't show his powerful aura and his space and star power Upanishads, this scene would have become chaotic quickly. Forefather Dragon Lizard was the first one who calmed down. Remembering what Tu Shur-Chi and Yun of the mysterious Sky Clan had asked him to do, he woke up and eliminated the evil thoughts in his mind. He pulled on a tender face to show his attitude. The asteroids, broken rocks, and sharp sabers circled above Shur Yan's head with earth-shaking auras. He glared at Forefather Dragon Lizard and pulled a strange smile. He nodded to Dragon Lizard and pretended to be scared. "I thought that Forefather would attack me savagely." Forefather Dragon Lizard was a little embarrassed. He just smiled and didn't know how to answer. The corner of Shur Yan's mouth twitched as he was cold inwardly. He turned to Audrey and purposely spoke in Desolate Territories language. "Are you okay? You've reached Second Sky of Incipient God Realm, right?" Audrey was frightened. Immediately, she was panic-stricken. Yuan Emo of the Water Tribe, and Tu Shirchi and Ian of the mysterious Sky Clan had told Audrey and Shiryen many times that they shouldn't speak Desolate Territory's language in any circumstance because they knew Sing yearned for Desolate Territory so much. They didn't want Sing or the warriors of the Earth Ghoul tribe to recognize them. Audrey knew that Shiryen was a watchful person. She didn't know why he suddenly became careless at this challenge, as he spoke in Desolate Territory's language to communicate in front of many people. He had even pitched his voice to make sure many people could hear him. She looked at Sing instinctively. Audrey became so anxious as she found that Sing now looked like a lewd rapist who saw a naked woman. He was so excited and he laughed crazily. He said loudly, "I have my iron shoes worn out from searching, and I got nothing. But now I get it without spending a bit of effort. Excellent, excellent." Shiryen. Audrey sounded bitter. "It's okay. I want him to know." Shiryen lowered his voice and sneered. "Dragon, lizard brother." Sing swayed and moved toward Forefather Dragon, Lizard. With a smiling face, he pointed at Shiryen and Audrey and said, "Can you give me one of them? Yeah, that woman is okay. I want one of them alive. I will repay this favor abundantly later." Forefather Dragon Lizard was astounded. Audrey paled. She was so nervous as things had gotten out of the control. It became more awkward and dangerous than she had expected. "I invited them here." Forefather Dragon Lizard had a grudge against Sing already. He was trying to press down his anger to calculate later. And now, Sing wanted to take his people away. His flame of wrath seemed to be brimming. He lowered his voice and said, "Sing, what are you doing? You've gone against me many times today. Do you think it's easy to bully our Dragon Lizard clan?" Sing had planned to wait until the festival ended to attack Forefather Dragon Lizard. However, because Shiryen had carelessly revealed his identity as a warrior from Desolate Territory, he had ignited the flame in Sing's heart. "I just want one of them. I will only ask you once, Dragon Lizard brother. Will you give me her or not?" He pointed at Audrey, "This woman. She's useless to your cultivation, Dragon Lizard brother. Give her to me. I will remember your favor." Wanton. Forefather Dragon Lizard couldn't press down his anger anymore. Sing had shouted at his face in front of many aliens from different tribes. His suppressed wrath burst out. "You really think that your soul clan is invincible? I'm going to fight against you. Let's see what power you have to insult me like that." Boom! Just like an erupting volcano, a series of explosions arose from Forefather Dragon Lizard's clone body. Then the ground underneath him cracked, revealing a deep pit where lava boiled and streamed on his body. Forefather Dragon Lizard's clone became like a flaming fluid that emitted terrifying and fierce energy fluctuations. Boom! 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 The Dragon Lizard continent drifted apart. Pieces of broken stars and asteroids exploded and released formidable shockwaves. The scarlet fire shot out from the lava and turned into a fearsome, gigantic creature like a lizard. That creature was even bigger than the entire mountain range. It wasn't real matter, but it brought earth-shaking momentum. The giant lizard was made of lava energy. It grabbed a big rock and squeezed it off. The shower of rocks shot toward Sing like arrows. "I don't want to make a scene. Dragon Lizard, you have turned against my soul clan. I must correct you here." Sing wasn't afraid. He sneered darkly. The brutal souls bobbed behind him. They flew and aimed at the asteroid shower. Crack! Crack! The brutal souls pulled and crushed the asteroids into powder before they could reach Sing. "That kid is really cunning." The masked woman from the Phantom Clan coldly watched the battle between Forefather Dragon Lizard and Sing. She suddenly said, "If he didn't instigate this, Forefather Dragon Lizard and Sing wouldn't have started a battle this early. He has forced them to make it happen earlier. This kid is darkly devious indeed." She had known that Dragon Lizard and Sing didn't get along well as others had rumored. From their conversation, their fluctuating auras and visages, she knew that they would fight against each other soon. However, Forefather Dragon Lizard and Sing had tried their best to conceal their conflict. Perhaps they didn't want to tear their cunning faces in front of many warriors. However, Yen had instigated them with his words. They lost their minds and began to attack each other crazily. As soon as the battle started, she had focused on Yen and became vigilant. At this moment, Yan's face changed. The space energy emerged layers over layers on his body, which guided the asteroids above his head to move around like windmills. Adams, Evelyn's, and Masha of the Heavenly Eye clan together with Audrey were pulled toward a spinning asteroid. That asteroid moved like a shuttle between the spatial waves. Adams, Evelyn's, Masha, and Audrey slowly faded as if they were about to disappear. However, Yen hadn't moved a bit. He wore an indifferent visage, but his eyes were so cold. That kid is from desolate territory. We met him on the way here, said Yuanemo. People from desolate territory aren't plain. Desolate, an extremely powerful absolute beginning creature. Although it has secluded for many years, all the experts who know it have always admired and respected it, said the masked woman in a low voice. While talking, they were frightened as they looked at the void above the continent. The asteroids, broken stars, and space blades above Yan's head suddenly looked like they lost control. All revolved and made a downpour from the sky. The several thousand-meter-long space sabers were dazzlingly white, like a shining blade that no one could stop. If they cut someone, that person was not likely to survive. It was the natural, ruthless prestige of the sea domain of nihility. When this brutal prestige was controlled and slashed down from the sky, it was going to be more lethal because of its accuracy. Did he lose his mind? Yuan and Mo was frightened and screaming, "Move! Get away from his madness." The masked woman of the Phantom Clan was shivering in fear, looking at the shining sharp blades above their heads. She couldn't endure it as the twisted space energy was troubling her mind. What does he want to do? Just like them, the warriors of the other second-class and third-class clans were running for their lives while cursing Yan's entire family. They hated that they couldn't kill him. They could see that Yan was controlling all the broken rocks and keen space blades. Crack! Crack! A several thousand-meter-long space saber gashed Dragon Lizard star. The ground of the continent was like tofu under a knife. A massive crack appeared where lava surged fiercely from deep underground. An earth-shaking groan came from the ground. It was the indignant roar of Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body. Forefather Dragon Lizard's clone fighting against Sing also got hurt. He threw Yen an outraged look and cursed. "What the heck are you doing?" Yen was bewildered and giving him an embarrassed smile. He clasped his fist. My bad, my bad. Please forgive me. Crazy. He's crazy, right? On the asteroid that had drifted far away from Dragon Lizard continent, Masha was so worried and pulling her hair. Looking at the chaotic Dragon Lizard star, she got so fluttered. What's going on? I don't know, Evelyn's forced a smile. They all looked at Audrey with the hope that she could give them an answer. However, Audrey shook her head begrudgingly as the others were looking at her. I don't know. It seems like he's trying to stir up Dragon Lizard continent. It looks like he wants more people dead. Then she jolted back and stopped talking as she looked pensive. Chapter 1391, Lord of All Skies. Chapter 1391, Lord of All Skies. Yen knew that he was in an extremely good condition. An immortal pellet had helped him break the bottleneck quickie. He had directly entered the immortal realm. In this new realm, his body, the god power ancient tree, and the soul altar had transformed differently. However, the thing that had changed the most was his dark energy. Today, in his body, besides the God Power ancient tree as the source of energy, his sea of consciousness also had another source of energy. The God Power had nurtured him entirely. His body was filled with abundant energy. Dark energy had changed and boosted his soul altar and made his power Upanishads more exquisite and profound. His host soul now was so vigorous, and his soul altar now had an endless source of energy. Each wisp of his soul consciousness could reach out unceasingly. Star and space power Upanishads now had new changes. Thus, he could control the sharp space sabers as much as he wanted. He could even feel the spatial blind spots around. The so-called spatial blind spots were the mysterious spaces that the warriors could never sense. Only experts with profound space power Upanishad could grasp them. They could use the spatial blind spots to hide or burst out furious attacks. Just like a room or a forest with shades, space had some areas that the ordinary warriors could never see. Those areas were called spatial blind spots. Audrey, Evelyn, Adams, and Masha were standing on an asteroid that wasn't far from Dragon Star Continent. They could still watch the battle between Forefather, Dragon Lizard, and Singh and see what was happening over there. However, many aliens on the continent couldn't see their asteroid. It was because the asteroid was staying in a spatial blind spot. Except for the experts with Singh's, Forefather Dragon Lizards, or the Masked Woman's realm, they could find those spots if they sensed very carefully. In other words, in a short time, Audrey's group didn't need to worry about their safety. With the power of the experts with space power Upanishad like Shuryen, after he had reached the immortal realm, he wasn't afraid of Singh's or Forefather Dragon Lizard's wrath. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. The 7 brutal souls were like ominous fiends that hovered around Forefather Dragon Lizard and attacked him. Dragon Lizard sneered and created a massive phantom of a lizard, his real form. The giant scarlet lizard looked like it was made of fire and was wrestling with 7 brutal souls that stirred the entire land. They made Dragon Lizard Continent look like it was about to shatter. At this moment, the asteroids and shining space blades above Shuryan's head were cutting and impacting with the land, tearing the entire continent. When Singh and Dragon Lizard were fighting furiously, many aliens had become greedy and they wanted to seize the chance to capture Shuryen and kill him to absorb his soul. They thought that they could reach the territory ancestor realm if they got him. Some of them had discreetly and proactively prepared and approached him. However, Shuryen suddenly burst out crazily and guided a lot of broken stars and asteroids with the space blades, making them a huge downpour on those sneaky warriors. He had killed around 10 warriors of the alien tribes in just a blink of an eye. Those warriors' realms weren't low. Some had even reached second sky of immortal realm. They had underestimated Shuryen's intimidation and his brutality. The asteroids had blown them off and made them pieces of meat. The space sabers had minced them and left only their souls floating, shrieking and cursing maliciously. Shuryen didn't dare to show the devouring power Upanishad's ability. He didn't release the black hole and just used his acupuncture points to absorb the energy and essence chi from the dead warriors. As he had just reached first sky of immortal realm, his body was now a sponge that needed a lot of energy. Receiving the energy and essence chi of the dead made him feel so refreshed. I know you want to kill me and refine my soul to help you reach territory ancestor realm. Shuryen raked through the area, chuckled and relaxed. Anyone with this idea could come and check. Maybe you can succeed. All right, I'm here to give you a chance and an opportunity to break through to territory ancestor realm. You shouldn't let it slip away. At this moment, Forefather, Dragon Lizard, and Singh were still attacking each other. Singh hadn't used his great weapon yet. He hadn't activated the power of the soul refining cauldron, as he wanted to wait for the most suitable time when the cauldron would kill Forefather Dragon Lizard in one attempt. Forefather Dragon Lizard was resentful because of Sing's dark deeds, so he didn't want to show mercy. However, he was currently just a clone with limited power. He couldn't kill Sing directly. However, he had another plan, so he wasn't really anxious. He was also waiting for an opportunity. He was waiting for the instant kill attack by Tu Shirqi and his wife Yin. As the two great experts couldn't even help themselves, the other warriors, of course, had their own ideas. They wanted to seize this chance to capture Shiryen and then leave Dragon, Lizard Star immediately. Perhaps they could claim victory this time. The tragic death of the others was a big warning to them. Now, they knew that Shiryen had the power to counterattack. However, as he had just reached first sky of Immortal Realm, they thought that he had only those asteroids and broken stars as his weapon and that he depended on external forces. Gradually, the real experts quietly moved toward Shiryen. They looked stern and yearning. Should we take action now? Yuan Mo of the Water Tribe was hesitant and asked for direction. Don't rush. The masked woman of the Phantom Tribe had deep eyes. She was several exploding mountain ranges away from Shiryen. She stopped the Water Tribe from taking rash actions and smiled. That kid isn't as easy to deal with as he seems. If he dares to initiate the battle, of course, he has some good backup. We should just wait and see then. While talking, her line of sight moved around and then fell on the massive pit on the ground. She could feel something strange. Forefather Dragon Lizard was acting strangely. She thought that there was something hiding deep underground. Bursting lightning. All of a sudden, a terrifying roar came. An alien warrior at second sky of Immortal Realm emerged in front of Shiryen, lightning beams winding around his body like snakes. As soon as the wild snakes left his body, they swelled up and turned into dozens of bucket-sized lightning snakes. Those snakes were lively as if they were real. They could even spurt lightning and icy mist. While dozens of large snakes flew away, they twisted and changed, turning into a curved formation. That formation looked like an electrical net with snakes as the lines that grumblingly snatched over Shiryen. Rumble, rumble, rumble. While the snake-like electric net was coming, the earth-shaking lightning and thunder had become more furious, as if they wanted to drown Shiryen altogether. The sky was shadowed by the giant lightning snakes. Shiryen frowned. He found that this alien warrior had cultivated lightning power Upanishad to the Immortal Realm, but his real fighting competence couldn't be compared to Ledi, the immemorial thunder dragon, regardless of the realm or the intensity of god power. They were too different. Stars and asteroids. Shiryen sat down cross-legged and lifted his head to watch the sky. The pupils in his eyes were as bright as stars. His eyes seemed to cover the stars in the skies, as if he was the lord of all skies. The asteroids and broken stars hovering above his head began to lower like a falling galaxy. Rumble, rumble, rumble. So many lightning snakes in the sky were hit by the asteroids that were even bigger than entire mountain ranges. The meteors shot them and made the electrical beams scatter in the sky. The attack by the warrior at second sky of Immortal Realm, cultivating lightning power, Upanishad backfired. His body flashed and thundered. He looked charred as if he had just been roasted. Life magnetic field. Shiryen grinned and shouted again. From him as the center, a vigorous life magnetic field expanded rapidly. Anyone who came near the magnetic field couldn't control their bodies. Their hearts began to beat frantically. Their vitality was triggered and they reddened. They seemed to be pumped with endless energy in just a blink of an eye. However, that energy came from their burning vitality, which wasn't something familiar with them, so they couldn't control it. Their skin cracked and bled terribly. Wounds showed when the vitality was triggered hard and their bodies couldn't endure it. If they couldn't control it, they were going to quickly blow up. Life power Upanishad. The masked woman screamed in fear. Her soft and tender voice became sharp and ear-piercing. Her deep eyes shot out astounding light as if she had just discovered a whole new continent. Explode! Looking at a warrior at first sky of a mortal realm, Shi Yan grinned. At the same time, a hot look shot to that warrior, and it seemed to ignite a sea of fire. The body of that warrior was ultimately inflated, like a balloon. He burst shortly after. His internal organs and flesh exploded into pieces and shot everywhere. The scene was terribly bloody. I didn't know he was that strong. Masha's soft body quivered while standing on the asteroid and hiding in the blind spot. Looking at Shi Yan, she was extremely frightened. Lucky us. We got a good sense, and we didn't offend this god of slaughter. Adams forced a smile and felt very lucky. Evelyn's was pensive. His face convulsed, and he felt so chilled. The brutality that Shi Yan had performed was beyond what they could imagine. After reaching the immortal realm, Shi Yan had advanced greatly, and his competence was amazing. Audrey was close to Shi Yan, but she was so astounded. She knew that Shi Yan was strong, but she didn't expect Shi Yan to be that strong. He was truly powerful, as he could kill second sky of immortal realm experts when he had just broken through to first sky of a mortal realm. It was unimaginable, and it was against the rules of nature. The realms of the warriors in the sea domain of nihility aren't low, but their competencies are too ordinary. They're not as fierce as Xian He, Frederick, or Lady. Strange, Shi Yan was also surprised. He found that some of the warriors he had just killed had the same realm as Xian He and Lady, but the power they showed and their understanding of power Upanishads weren't as powerful as Xian He or Frederick's. They were obviously one level lower than the others. Sure, Yan didn't know that the top existences in desolate territory, like Xian He and Frederick, were the overlords in the area 10,000 years ago. After they had received the power Upanishads from Bloodthirsty, their realms and power had advanced greatly. After 10,000 years of accumulation, they were all formidable characters at the ultimate level. Xian He and Frederick could compare to the same realm warriors from the 7 great clans in this sea domain of nihility. The warriors fighting against Shi Yan here belonged to 3rd class and 2nd class clans. They couldn't be compared to the members of the 7 great clans. It was the main reason why Shi Yan felt that they were so weak. Chapter 1392, Conceal. Chapter 1392, Conceal. Underscore the asteroids and broken stars in the sky fell, and one warrior, cultivating lighting power, Upanishad, exploded to death. The void above Shi Yan's head became clear. 3 aliens at second sky of a mortal realm that stormed toward Shi Yan were like moths heading to a fire. They finally showed their fangs. The icy mist, strong winds, and sharp metal power emerged from their bodies, which were enough to tear this continent and dismember the ordinary warriors at first sky of a mortal realm. Now, Shi Yan, without the asteroids and broken pieces of stars flying around him, was like a hedgehog without spikes in their eyes. Shi Yan, their delicious meat, squinted. His face was calm as he sat still. The phantom woman gently parted her lips to a smile as she was interested. Her laughter arose when she wormed between the 3 alien experts. Her graceful, voluptuous body quivered, and a powerful energy that could collapse the souls rippled through her. Tui! The 3 aliens at second sky of a mortal realm vomited blood. Their faces were as pale as a sheet of white paper. They clutched their hearts and foreheads, running away even though their chests were bleeding hard. The stronger experts, who were waiting patiently, had to change their countenances and plans to hide. No one dared to approach recklessly. "You're really fierce." The soft voice that could enchant people's souls arose. She stopped around 10 meters in front of Shi Yan and studied him. Shi Yan furrowed his brows. The woman in front of him was so sexy. Sure, Yan almost couldn't control his fire of desire as he saw her round rear and bounce. Her fearsome mask had accompanied her marvelous, seductive body well, giving her a more powerful attractiveness. She made people imagine her face under the mask and become more curious. The scorching aura in the tier of heaven flames changed instantly. A flow of cold energy flooded the sea of consciousness and spread to his entire body. It was indeed chilled to the bones. He had recovered his calmness and said indifferently, "Precursor, what do you want to tell me?" "Nah, call me Jedja. I like it when you call me that." The woman giggled softly, her voice so tender as if she didn't have any bones at all. "Jedja wants to discuss something with you. If you agree with me, I will help you shoo these annoying bastards away. What do you think?" She raked through the others and said, "Yeah, I know you're fierce. You've just broken through to a new realm anyway. It would be a headache for you to deal with so many venomous snakes. As long as you nod your head, Jedja will treat you well. I will delight you for sure." People gulped as her eyes glided through them. Those who were hiding had relatively high realms. "What do you want me to agree with you?" Slowly, Shiryan's brows became frosted. To deal with this woman's mind-tricking technique, he had to consume his god power every minute. It was a little tough, though. He was discreetly frightened as he found that this woman from the Phantom Clan wasn't weaker than Sing or Dragon Lizard. "Well, come to my Phantom Clan and become our clan's male guest. Yeah, I can let you marry a girl in our clan. You can freely use the cultivating materials of our clan." The woman had watery eyes, which made people drool for her. The warriors of the other clans cried in surprise. The male guest of the Phantom Clan was similar to the non-native officer of the mysterious Sky Clan. The Phantom Clan offered the materials to cultivate to exchange for their efforts in supporting the clan. Each male guest could choose a woman of the beautiful Phantom Clan to be his wife. Also, women of the Phantom Clan were famous for their glamour in this sea domain. Many people had yearned for their beauties. She had just invited Shiryan to join Phantom Clan. What a slut! Audrey shouted with a cold face on the asteroid. Masha threw her a glance and smiled. She knew that Audrey and Shiryan had an ambiguous relationship. The Phantom Clan's invitation had enraged her. Audrey's eyes were like ice arrows shooting toward Shiryan. Her look carried her soul power. Shiryan couldn't help but turn around and look at the void in the sky. His eyes seemed to get through the spatial blind spot as he gazed at Audrey. Audrey was stunned. She didn't expect that Shiryan could see her through such a distance. Audrey's cold face suddenly felt hot and she blushed. She hurried to retreat and hid behind Masha. Shiryan smiled and didn't look more. He turned to the masked woman, not interested. The masked woman stopped, her eyes cold. She nodded and said nothing else before walking back to Yuan Mo of the Water Tribe. Then the warriors here suddenly burst out as if their madness had just been triggered. They became angry and attacked Shiryan fearlessly. Yuan Mo felt so chilled. He glanced at the masked woman and bent his body. It was the fierce, intimidating power of the Phantom Clan. Each woman of the clan had an excellent cultivation base and outstanding competencies. They could enchant people when they hadn't recognized it, which made those female warriors able to control the enchanted warriors. This power was innate, and every female warrior of the Phantom Clan could do that smoothly. Currently, many warriors of the alien tribes were affected. They became bold and fearless, trying to attack Shiryan explicitly without waiting for the right chance. They didn't even care about their lives. "You're bold!" Shiryan hissed at the woman and stomped his feet. The stone ground underneath exploded grumblingly. Countless pieces of stones swept around like a powerful storm. When the rocks covered the entire sky, Shiryan became vague in layers of waves rippling. He disappeared abruptly. Dozens of male aliens stormed toward him. 10 of them had reached second sky of Immortal Realm, and one even was at third sky of Immortal Realm. Those warriors had lost their minds. They weren't afraid of death, and they all wanted to kill him. He couldn't help but decide to dodge the spear. He pumped dark energy into his veins to turn invisible immediately. Naked eyes couldn't see him, and the soul consciousness couldn't sense him. He was literally invisible. Even the Phantom Woman was surprised. Her beautiful eyes twinkled as she used her power Upanishad to find him. She found it peculiar indeed. She thought that his space power Upanishad was really marvelous, as she couldn't even spot him. Suddenly, her sexy body shivered. She suddenly remembered something, her beautiful eyes excited. It was the effect of dark energy. Her red, painted fingernails dug into her flesh as she was so excited. Her flashing eyes searched around. Boom! A six-armed, brutal soul with a dragon body had punched the giant lizard continuously. Thunder had shaken the entire horizon. Forefather Dragon Lizard's clone had a red face, while rigid muscles on his body convulsed and sent high flames to the void. Then he flew to the giant lizard and merged with it. Dragon Lizard, you're forcing me. Sing was about to use his real flame. The mountain of souls and spirits under his feet suddenly screeched and shrieked. The 10,000-meter-tall brutal souls flew out. They all had strange shapes and wildly bit the giant lizard. At the same time, a jade bell emerged in Sing's hand. If Audrey and the other three could see the bell, they would find that its material was very similar to the three-legged jade cauldron. The bell itself had so many absolute beginning symbols on the surface too. Tinkle, tinkle. Sing jingled the bell. The symbols on the bell looked lively, and they moved like snakes. The chunk of meat that Dragon Lizard had cut off from his body deep underground was shriveling rapidly as the energy and blood chi were taken away. Shortly after, it became dry meat without blood and water. Finally, he takes action. Tu Shi and Yi Yin looked shaken. They immediately stormed to the cave underground. Grrrrrrr. Arg. Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body groaned and roared accordingly. The entire continent shook. Mountains collapsed. Rocks exploded. Dragon Lizard Star was about to be destroyed. On the ground, Forefather Dragon Lizard's clone acted well. He clutched his chest and rolled on the ground with a fierce countenance. Sing, what have you done to me? Sing didn't answer him. While using the giant brutal soul to fatally attack the forefather, he didn't stay idle and immediately entered the cave. He wanted to find and kill Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body underground. The woman from the Phantom clan wanted to find Yen. However, when she saw that Sing and Dragon Lizard had some critical changes, her eyes became bright and her thoughts changed. The aliens who were slashing and killing each other after their target had disappeared and suddenly changed their target. They all squeezed to get into the cave that Sing had just jumped into. That cave was oozing lava. Lava oozed out from that cave as it had connected directly to deep inside Dragon Lizard Star, which was leading to Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body. The woman chuckled and gave up on finding Yen. She walked to Dragon Lizard's clone that was groaning in pain. She carefully avoided the blood puddles on the ground in her way. It seems like you have the soul refining cauldron in your body. As Sing has attacked you with the soul refining cauldron, I think you can't escape this culpa. She loomed over Dragon Lizard's clone and said, seriously, give me the other 2 immortal pellets. I promise I will save some seeds for your clan. I won't let your clan be eradicated. She turned to Du Lei, Defong, and Walker. She said, sincerely, they're at second sky of Immortal Realm. If our Phantom clan protects them, and if they can reach the Territory Ancestor Realm in the future, your Dragon Lizard clan will have a chance to rise. It's your last chance. I hope you will consider my offer carefully. Forefather, Forefather, Forefather. Du Lei and the other 2 screamed, dashing toward with worried faces. Forefather Dragon Lizard's whimpered clone suddenly quieted. A bloodthirsty, Ruthless intention emerged in his eyes as he answered calmly. Well, we Dragon Lizard Clan don't need your Phantom Clan to put your nose in our business. The Phantom Clan woman discolored in fright. Chapter 1393, Goddess Gorgeous Dance. Chapter 1393, Goddess Gorgeous Dance. _OU. The Phantom Clan masked woman pointed her green, onion-like finger to Forefather Dragon, Lizard's clone, and screamed in surprise. Dule and the other two were also bewildered. Forefather Dragon, Lizard snorted and lifted his head to look at the crocodile Brutal Soul. He roared, and the massive scarlet lizard got more pumped vitality. It rolled and roared like a dragon. Now it was as powerful as that giant crocodile. Dragon Lizard Continent was shaking continuously. It seemed like the sky was about to fall. The flaming lava oozed from many pits and ditches on the ground. The entire continent became red. At the same time, many red-brown rocks were throbbing as if they were some sort of strange hearts. Roaring and bellowing continuously arose from deep underground. It seemed like Forefather Dragon Lizard's true body underground had to endure formidable pain, and he was struggling for the last time before his death. The warriors from the smaller clans were frightened when they observed the changes of the continent. They wanted to do something, but they knew they weren't strong enough. Many people now had no interest in the Dragon Lizard Clan's bustling festival. They silently left the place and stayed away from this land of trouble. Also, a bigger group of warriors thought that it would be their chance as they were confident in their abilities. Thus, they stayed and hid in the dark to wait for the right chance. I've acted rashly. Forefather Dragon Lizard, please forgive me. The Phantom Masked Woman reacted timely. She recovered, smiling and talking in her sweet, soft voice. Seems like you've prepared well. Right. I hate that Sing of the Soul Clan too. I wish for your victory, Forefather. Then she flew away. After a flash, she reappeared by Yuan Amo of the Water Tribe and said coldly, Sing will be over this time. Sing is also at the peak of a mortal realm. He's as strong as Forefather Dragon Lizard. Even if they ambush him, he won't die, will he? Yuan Amo was inexplicably surprised. The masked woman looked at the lava pond, strange light flashing in her eyes. Tusher Chi and his wife Yin from the mysterious Sky Clan should be hiding in the ground and waiting for Sing. With Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body, I think Sing can't dodge this culpa. The subterranean lava pond is where Forefather Dragon Lizard's true body lives. I'm sure he has refined it to be very strong and tough. Sing can't escape. Yuan Mo was frightened. Since when did Forefather Dragon Lizard and the mysterious Sky Clan join hands? The masked woman shook her head. She didn't answer him, but she thought of another idea. With her magical soul consciousness at third sky of a mortal realm, she quietly searched around. She came to a new decision. Forefather Dragon Lizard wasn't trapped, and Sing couldn't get out of it alive. She knew that she couldn't seize the chance and take the immortal pellets from Forefather Dragon Lizard. Thus, Shi Yan was going to be her next target for her benefits. He had a soul wisp from an absolute beginning creature. He understood dark energy. Absolutely, he was a precious treasure in this world. Even if she couldn't get him for the Phantom Clan, she would never let another force benefit from him. She wanted to check Shi Yan's direction and location. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. A brutal soul that had swallowed thousands of departed souls to be stronger was also attacking the lizard together with the crocodile. This brutal soul was the most special among the 7 brutal souls Sing had. It was because this brutal soul had a human form. Although he was dozens of times taller than a normal person, he appeared and acted like a human. This brutal soul was Ming Hong, an expert and Audrey's ancestor. After he was refined and made a brutal soul, When Sing fought against the others, he couldn't control himself. He had to cooperate with Sing to attack his enemies. Right now, he was attacking the giant lizard, although he didn't want to do it. A magical energy wave arose deep in his soul. Ming Hong was bewildered while tearing the lizard. A message bloomed in his mind. I am Shi Yan from Desolate Territory, just like you. My friend is called Audrey. She's the daughter of Adele, the current matriarch of Imperial Dark Tribe. An absolute beginning creature called Hui had sent us here to this sea domain of nihility. We're lost. We don't know how to go back home. Ming Hong turned into a brutal soul and joined hands with the 10,000-meter-long crocodile to attack the giant lizard. However, this soul message still echoed in his head. We want to return to Desolate Territory, and we want to unchain you too. How can we help you? That voice still talked to him. Ming Hong was so thrilled. Adele's daughter. She's Adele's daughter. He screamed in his soul. He was in the same generation as Ming Hao and Adele's grandfather, so he was about as old as Audrey's great-grandfather. He had taught Ming Hao, so he knew Ming Hao had a blood sister called Adele. Thus, his relationship with Audrey wasn't shallow. Even without this relationship, because Audrey was from Imperial Dark Tribe, he was going to try his best to help them. He knew this as soon as he came and found Audrey cultivating. She's one of us. One of us. As soon as Ming Hong confirmed this, he discreetly communicated with Shi Yan while engaging with the giant lizard. Currently, Forefather Dragon Lizard's clone had advised Dulei, Defeng, and Walker before jumping into the ground and leaving only the phantom of the massive lizard created by his energy. That phantom was engaging with the giant crocodile and Ming Hong, leaving them no extra time to help Sing. Thus, Ming Hong didn't have heavy pressure. Although he couldn't control his body, his soul connection wasn't restricted. If Sing isn't dead, I can't be released. If Sing is killed, I can escape. I know the entrance to Desolate Territory. As long as I'm freed, I can take you guys back to Desolate Territory, said Ming Hong. Don't worry. Sing will die this time. I have no doubt. Besides Forefather Dragon Lizard, Tu Shi and his wife Yin from the mysterious Sky Clan are underground too. Forefather Dragon Lizard has set up something. If Sing has the guts to come down, he shouldn't dream of running away, assured Shi Yan. Ming Hong was thrilled upon listening to him. He screamed, as long as Sing is killed, I can escape his bind. Then, I will give Audrey a big surprise. What surprise? Ah, it's our Imperial Dark Tribe's business. Don't ask too much. The masked woman from the Phantom Tribe had her dark eyes brightened. She took action one more time. Shortly after, she came to the cave that led to the underground. Lifting her head to look at the crocodile and the lizard fighting, she parted her lips into a smile. While smiling, she rose one arm to pull something. Thud! A gray shadow materialized in front of her on the dusted ground. That was Shi Yan, who had gone invisible. My good little brother, what are you doing? Sneaking something? She smiled and agilely walked toward Shi Yan. Yeah, you and Forefather Dragon Lizard should have some dark agreement, right? I can tell. You have cooperated with Forefather Dragon Lizard and Tu Shi of the mysterious Sky Clan. Haha, you little evil runt. You made Sing and Forefather Dragon Lizard fight against each other sooner than planned. Shi Yan felt chilled. Looking at the smiling, approaching woman, he felt a massive mountain press on his soul. That masked woman gave him a terrible threat. Currently, Forefather Dragon Lizard, Sing, and Tu Shi were fighting underground. She thought that it was the right chance for her. She couldn't help but take action to trouble Shi Yan. Crack! Crack! Shi Yan's skeleton sounded like metal clanging. So many sharp spikes jutted out from his joints. A pair of bone wings appeared on his back. While his body was transforming, his blood chi rose high. His life energy and power began to surge. His eyes became crimson like blood. The acupuncture points in his entire body gathered the essence chi of the dead warriors. A ruthless light shot out from his head and reached up into the sky like a towering garnet tree. Thump, thump, thump. His heart beat faster like rapid drum beats. After each beat, his blood boiled and burned harder. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. With Shi Yan as the center, the broken stars and rocks around suddenly floated up. Dozens of thousands of rocks wildly twirled in the void like stars in a galaxy. A current of powerful star energy came from nowhere and poured into this strange star formation. Boom! That eccentric star formation emitted a cold, eliminating aura. Each starlight beam could even destroy a whole planet. Bunches of beams bombarded the masked woman. The masked woman no longer smiled. Her dark eyes were filled with panic. When the starlight beam shot toward her, her fearsome mask cracked as if it had to bear heavy pressure. You're heartless. You're so cruel to Jejia. You really do want to smash the flower. The soft body of that masked woman began to twist as she was dancing. Countless illusions of sexy women flew out of her body. Those women wore flimsy, silky clothes holding jade trays or fruits. Some even were undressing. They smiled charmingly and seducing and approached Shi Yan. Starlight shone on them. Innumerable illusions of young maids turned into ashes. After one of them was destroyed, the power of the starlight was slightly reduced. The masked woman shivered as if her energy was drained. Eventually, there were no more starlight beams. They were all gone. However, many sexy women were still dancing and floating one after another, giggling while going closer to Shi Yan. They wanted to pull him into their sweet aroma and make him never wake up. You evil kid, you disregarded my good intentions. You smashed my heart. Yeah, I'm begrudging. I can only invite you to our Phantom Clan. Well, we're going to enjoy the best things there. Don't worry. Jejia won't mistreat you. What the mysterious Sky Clan can offer, we can too. Our Phantom Women are more beautiful than the mysterious Sky Woman. I'm sure you will sink and you won't want to leave. The masked woman chuckled and looked at so many gorgeous but vulgar women entangling Shi Yan. She finally exhaled in relief. Her goddess-gorgeous dance was the exclusive mind-enchanting technique of the Phantom Clan. It worked on every male creature in this world. She had never failed when using this technique. She believed that even he was made of steel, those beautiful women made of her soul consciousness could melt him down. So many goddesses, which were the representatives of lust, were seducing and enchanting as they attacked Shi Yan. Shi Yan had hot eyes as if he was aroused. He stood still and didn't have any reaction, while so many gorgeous goddesses were clutching his arms and calves and pulling him toward the masked woman. The masked woman giggled happily. Chapter 1394. Dragon Lizard's True Body. Chapter 1394. Dragon Lizard's True Body. Shi Yan was flying happily in his sweet dreams. He couldn't control himself, and he just let himself fall into the enemy's hands. In his erotic dream, he saw a warm, clear river where he was soaking with around 10 hot, voluptuous bodies who were wholeheartedly delighting him. The mind-enchanting technique of the Phantom Clan wasn't a power Upanishad. It was their innate talent, which wasn't different from the third eye of the Heavenly Eye Clan. The mind-enchanting technique aimed at the lusty desires that men hid in their hearts. Through that desire, they were controlled. Usually with his tough mind, Shi Yan didn't yield that way. However, as he had just reached the immortal realm and his acupuncture had just swallowed too much essence chi from the dead, his body was filled with a large amount of negative energy. The negative emotions like brutality, bloodthirstiness, and even lechery he had subdued didn't affect him in normal cases. However, as the masked woman had used the mind technique to seduce him, it was like she had just ignited dry wood. His confined lust burst out and rocketed massively, driving him away from the right direction. The masked woman had chosen the right time to use her mind-seducing technique. The masked woman's eyes were so charming when she gently smiled and danced. More beautiful women flew out from her and entangled with the young man. Shuryen smiled lustily and proactively dashed toward the masked woman as the sexy bodies leaned against his body. Jiejie will treat you well. As long as you come to our phantom clan, I'm sure you will forget anything but joy. Come, I'm taking you with me. The masked woman's soft laughter could intrude the sea of consciousness. Some male aliens, even though they were very far from her, had their blood boil. Their breathing shortened as they were trying hard to suppress their erotic desires. Soon, Shuryen was forced to walk to the masked woman, while the illusory women she had released were surrounding him. Yuan Mo, don't worry about your water tribe. Our phantom clan will take care of you guys, smiled the masked woman. As she saw the strange expression on Yuan Mo's handsome face, she knew that he was also affected by her mind-enchanting technique. She felt disdainful, but still smiled at him. I won't involve myself in the matter here. Yeah, you water tribe should leave early too. Her white neck craned as she looked at the dark and cold void. She seemed to call for something there. Swish! A dazzling light shot over. After the intense light vanished, a 7-colored crystal war chariot was exposed. It was in a rhombus shape and twinkling like stars in the sky. She moved quickly and then landed on the war chariot while the illusory women were floating Shuryen up. They also landed on the 7-colored crystal war chariot. Let's go! Her jade-like hand tapped the war chariot. The crystal war chariot zoomed through the darkness like a starlight beam and tried to fly away from this land of trouble. Grrr! Forefather dragon lizard's true body howled from deep underground. Abruptly, 16 asteroids outside the continent happened to be like exploding hedgehogs. They shot billions of flaming spikes toward dragon lizard continent. Boom! 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 In just a blink of an eye, the crystal war chariot was pierced through. The flaming spikes had shot through it and left thumb-sized holes on the chariot's body, making it look like a beehive. The control mechanism broke. The war chariot stopped. The masked woman became cold. She looked at dragon lizard continent underneath. Her slender fingers clutched Shuryen's arm. She wanted to run away and sway through the shower of flaming spikes to leave dragon lizard continent quickly. Boom! Boom! Deep under the ground of the continent came earth-destroying explosions. Dragon lizard continent drifted into different pieces. Shortly after, the entire continent was divided and turned into a sea of asteroids in just a blink of an eye. A beast of around 10 million meters rose. Its body was garnet, and it emerged on the corner of an icy mountain when the continent drifted apart. Its back had humps. Its dark red body looked like a long mountain range that carried hundreds of asteroids. When its back shook, those asteroids exploded. Right after that, the real appearance of the massive beast came to people's sights. It was covered in garnet, flaming scales. It had a fearsome head that looked like a dragon head while dragging a mountain range-long tail. The giant lizard opened its mouth and boiling lava streamed out massively. It was the real body of Forefather Dragon Lizard. It was the real Forefather Dragon Lizard. As soon as Dragon Lizard's true body emerged, the massive lizard phantom that was fighting with the crocodile immediately retreated and disappeared into the dark red eyes of Dragon Lizard. Roar! Dragon Lizard faced the sky and roared indignantly. A stream of lava shot out of his mouth like a meteor. The phantom masked woman grabbed Shuryen and attempted to escape. The fire on the crystal war chariot had just extinguished, and the woman hadn't moved yet before the lava stream covered her. She changed her visage and immediately urged her power, Upanishad, and God power. The brilliant, Rainbow-like energy quickly weaved and created a curtain. The brilliant curtain covers both the woman and Shi Yan, protecting them from the lava river. However, it wasn't easy to get rid of this flaming river. She was temporarily confined. She glared at Dragon Lizard's head and found two small dots with a human shape. Unexpectedly, they were Tu Shih and his wife Yin. At this moment, they were looking at her, their faces conveying nothing positive. Her bright eyes scanned quickly around to find Sing. She saw helter-skelter Sing flying to the massive crocodile and Minghong. Now he had 7 brutal souls congregated. However, 5 of them were dying and their bodies were shrinking to a third of its original size. The 5 dying brutal souls were the ones following Sing to the ground to kill Dragon Lizard's true body. Evidently, Sing was very injured. He couldn't get what he wanted and he was severely wounded. Dragon Lizard bother, why do you have to do this? Sing's eyes sparkled. He was pale and bleeding at his mouth, stomach, and back. He sat on the head of the crocodile and said darkly, You, Tu Shih and Yin ambushed me to wound me. So what? I'm the So clan's commander. Do you dare to kill me? Do you want your Dragon Lizard clan to be hunted down to the last member? You think the mysterious Sky Clan can protect your clan? Dragon Lizard, I'm not interested in the conflict between you and the Soul Clan. I don't want to trade with you anymore. I just want to leave this place. Why did you stop me? Do you want to turn our Phantom Clan into your enemy too? Do you think you can endure that? The masked woman from the Phantom Clan was trapped inside the streaming lava in the void. Her bright eyes were cold as she shouted. At this moment, many aliens from the small clans discreetly moved away. They knew that the current situation wasn't something they could engage in. However, some of them still hid nearby or observed from a distance. Those warriors were real experts at 2nd or 3rd sky of a mortal realm. Perhaps their clans couldn't resist the Soul Clan, Mysterious Sky Clan, or Phantom Clan. However, they personally had the power and qualifications to fight against Forefather Dragon, Lizard, and Sing. Many of them were advancing quietly and taking off from their asteroids, which were now a part of the sea of asteroids. Discreetly, they approached the masked woman. They paid attention to Shi Yan and tried to capture Shi Yan from the masked woman. He was their chance to break through the territory ancestor realm. Drop Shi Yan and I'll let you go. I will also give you an immortal pellet. Forefather Dragon Lizard's true body thundered. His dark red eyes were as big as stars gazing at the masked woman. Then his massive head turned to Sing and he roared, saying, Anybody can leave but you. This time, even if I have to use all that I have, I must kill you. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Dragon Lizard's massive claws rose and grabbed a mountain-sized asteroid that he threw at Sing. That asteroid was black and rigid with energy from his body. It could even smash a small-sized planet. His giant claw could even shadow the light from the horizon, and it threatened terrifyingly people. Sing wore a cold and dark face. You don't really appreciate kindness. The massive crocodile underneath him roared and swallowed the 5 dying souls. Instantly, its body and power had increased by 3 times. The brutal soul in the crocodile form slowly became real matter. At this moment, the giant crocodile looked as if it was made of black iron. A dark and sinister aura flew out of the beast. Sing controlled the massive crocodile to use its rigid body to shield the asteroid. Its body then sent many sparks into the void. It had become real. Kill him! Sing shouted. The massive crocodile roared at Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body. Sing sneered, took out a bell, and shook it hard. Crack! Crack! The massive asteroids underneath cracked. The Soul Clan's soul refining cauldron got out of the ground, flew up, and floated above Sing's head. The 3-legged cauldron was as big as a mountain. It slowly spun above Sing's head. So many mysterious symbols twinkled. They then transformed into countless magical souls. The malicious aura from those symbols was slowly condensing. "Hey, let's discuss a little." Sing suddenly turned to the phantom masked woman. "You and I join hands to deal with Dragon Lizard and the mysterious Sky Clan. Then you take the kid. I want Dragon Lizard's and 2 Shir-Chi's lives. I also want the girl accompanying that kid. You will receive the 2 immortal pellets from Dragon Lizard. What do you think?" Hearing him, Forefather Dragon Lizard was outraged. 2 Shir-Chi's mind shivered. The masked woman from the Phantom Clan had her eyes brighten as she giggled. "Good suggestion. I'm interested. Well, Forefather Dragon Lizard isn't letting me go. I'll stay then." Her face turned cold as she hissed, Sing, "You deal with Forefather Dragon Lizard. I'll help you defeat 2 Shir-Chi and his wife." Sing was excited. He couldn't help but grin fiendishly. Sing was 1 level weaker than Dragon Lizard, and he got hit while fighting underground. Even if he got the Soul Refining Cauldron, an absolute beginning divine weapon, he couldn't deal with 2 Shir-Chi and his wife. However, if the masked woman of the Phantom Clan helped him, he could overturn the situation. He had checked and knew that this masked woman had a profound realm and her competence was deeply immeasurable. If they joined hands, he could take Dragon Lizard to nurture the Soul Refining Cauldron, which was the promise he made to the expert in his clan. Also, he could use Audrey to enter Desolate territory and refine Desolate. If he had to let Yin go to exchange for many things, this business was still going to be excellent for him. Chapter 1395, A Matter of Life or Death. Chapter 1395, A Matter of Life or Death. The masked woman frankly agreed with Sing's suggestion. Forefather Dragon Lizard and 2 Shir-Chi were so tense. Soul change. Sing shook the bell and shouted. The absolute beginning symbols on the Soul Refining Cauldron were like twinkling stars. They suddenly radiated beautiful, divine lights. Those tadpole symbols flew out of the surface of the cauldron and stuck on the giant brutal soul in a crocodile shape. This brutal soul was extremely intimidating when it was alive. Sing had spent hundreds of years refining it and making it the leader of the 7 great brutal souls. It was related to Sing's life, so it was almost his life treasure. The massive crocodile had absorbed the absolute beginning symbols from the Soul Refining Cauldron, and its body had materialized. It had been strengthened several times. Unexpectedly, it was almost as strong as Forefather Dragon Lizard's true body. The crocodile faced the sky and roared indignantly. The dark clouds stormed thickly. Lightning flashed and thunder boomed inside the dark clouds, as if someone had just summoned demons. Forefather Dragon Lizard looked stern. His scarlet eyes were like eccentric stars with a bloodthirsty aura. "Flame refine the earth." Dragon Lizard roared. Lava spurted out from his scaled body. The lava was scorching hot and flooding the entire sea of asteroids, as if the ocean had submerged the entire continent. Dragon Lizard hovered in the middle of the boiling lava and created high waves that attacked the giant crocodile. The giant crocodile howled. The torrential dark clouds above its head were like a collapsing mountain. Lightning beams danced inside the dark clouds and struck the lava sea. The giant crocodile forcefully plunged, entangling and tearing Forefather Dragon Lizard's real body. The 2 fearsome, dangerous beasts attacked each other fiercely. They had stirred up the entire place and affected the sea domain of nihility. The asteroids were struck away and flying in many directions. Many warriors hiding in the dark hadn't expected such attacks. The lava covered them and put them on fire. Shortly they became coals. The warriors with profound realms had retreated earlier. They continued to stay concealed and watched the situation. As Sing began to attack them, Tu Shih and Yin stood on Forefather Dragon Lizard's head and continuously muttered to him. They told him about the magical features of the cauldron. Also, they were accumulating energy to counterattack Sing. Sing's brutal souls were his source of power. The energies from his body and power Upanishads were poured into the massive crocodile unceasingly. Sing was floating under the soul refining cauldron, gathering his energy and using the bell to control it. The soul refining cauldron was an absolute beginning divine weapon. It was the life treasure of an expert in his soul clan. He couldn't promote the power of the soul refining cauldron ultimately, so he could only control it by using the bell. Also, it could help increase the power of the crocodile too. He was lucky that he had begged the territory ancestor expert in his clan to borrow the soul refining cauldron. Otherwise, he would have been hurt more severely underground. Then, he would have had to run away directly. Friend from Phantom Clan, it's your turn. Sing controlled the soul refining cauldron and shouted. The bell in his hand jingled clearly. The soul filaments flew out and fell on the massive ancient crocodile. The crocodile was boosted one more time, and now it was even as strong as Dragon Lizard's real body. Ming Hong, the brutal soul, was kneeling underneath Sing and releasing his power to protect him in case someone ambushed him while he was controlling the soul refining cauldron. I didn't want to get involved, but you forced me. I'm sorry. The phantom masked woman pitched her voice and laughed. One hand of her held Yen while the other pointed at the void. Then, so many pure white lotuses flew out and scattered from her white hand. Those snow-white lotuses bloomed and became as big as an entire room. They were crystal-like and sparkling like most perfect masterpieces. U.P. dated by Novelful. Come. The show-white lotuses slowly fell. The scorching red area was covered with an icy mist. After one lotus had descended, the world here became even colder. Gradually, 18 massive, snow-white lotuses aligned in the void and created a bigger lotus, which then grumblingly pressed down on Tu Shih and his wife. The ice power Upanishad had frosted the entire world. For the time being, the whole place was dead silent. The burning flame, the furious explosions, and the shaking earth were halted. The world was now frozen. Everything stopped instantly. Frosty galaxy. The masked woman became so chilled, her eyes rigid like ice. At this moment, her cold, malevolent characteristics were revealed. All of her charming, seducing gestures were just a disguise. The ruthless, heartless ice power Upanishad was her real face. The cold energy emitted from her could chill people to the bone. Yen was enchanted by her seducing technique, and he had fallen into a dreamy scene where he couldn't recognize his surroundings. Because of her real power, the ice power, bursting out, he felt an icy energy beam emerge in his head. That icy energy was like a cold lightning bolt, which flashed and disappeared into a sea of consciousness. Although it had happened in just a short moment, the intensive light had shone on Yan's mind and woken him up. In that short moment, he had resolutely used the space power Upanishad to seal his eyes, ears, mouth, and nostrils. He used his co-soul to trigger the power Upanishads. Instantly, the devouring power Upanishad appeared as a black hole in his tier of power Upanishads and shook it. At this moment, the graceful, sexy women were still dancing in his head. They served him and treated him tenderly to drown him deeply in his dream. Swallow. As soon as the black hole emerged, so many attractive young ladies in his brain had become shining pink lights that disappeared into the black hole. The seducing technique that had controlled his mind was cleared quickly. Yan's mind was sound and back in just a blink of an eye. He had used the space power Upanishad to close his eyes, ears, mouth, and nostrils. He had also sealed his sea of consciousness and separated his body. As the masked woman was using her other powers, she didn't recognize his abnormal condition. She didn't realize that he had woken up. One arm of her was still holding him as she was arrogantly attacking the enemies in the void. Her opponents were Tu Shih and his wife Yi Yin. The massive snow lotus created by many smaller ones had covered Tu Shih and Yi Yin. It looked like they were confined inside a bowl. The rainbow light protection on Tu Shih and Yi Yin helped them resist against the cold energy and move around inside the snow lotus. The masked woman observed the snow lotus. She concluded that this treasure was enough to hold back Tu Shih and his wife for a while. She pulled herself together and turned around to see Dragon Lizard wrestling with Sing's crocodile brutal soul. As Sing was continuously shaking the bell to send more energy from the soul-refining cauldron to the crocodile, Dragon Lizard wasn't in a good situation. The soul-refining cauldron was an absolute beginning divine weapon. It belonged to the class of top treasures in this vast universe. Although Sing couldn't actually use its strongest abilities, he could trouble Dragon Lizard a lot by using this technique to send endless energy to the giant crocodile. Seeing the snow lotus of the masked woman confine Tu Shih and Yi Yin, Sing was also scared. Luckily, he didn't act arrogantly or start a conflict with that masked woman. Swoosh! Swoosh! The tearing wind sounds echoed around the place as if someone was running discreetly. At this moment, Dragon Lizard Star was a sea of asteroids. The island-sized asteroids floated in the void, but they weren't really far from each other. Between some asteroids, the gap was just as big as a slit. If they had some dark schemes, as long as they were careful, they could hide in this area pretty well. The masked woman from the Phantom Clan had a cold and arrogant look. A flow of cold energy expanded from her soft body. The void around her made crack sounds. The entire void was frozen. Two silhouettes appeared under the asteroids on her left and right. They were exposed because of the frozen space. Defong and Dulé. Ice cracks, the masked woman shouted. Two cold lights shot out of her mouth. The icy light was like cold sabers with endless energy that thrust into Defang's and Dulé's chests. Thud! The icy light stabbed them and then pierced through their bodies. The blood on Defang's and Dulé's chests was frozen, but they weren't confined anymore. They freely fell on the rocks underneath. Their stealthy ambush failed. The masked woman sneered continuously. She raked through the area and said coldly, "I must have this kid. If anyone tries to take him, prepare to die." The warriors hiding in the dark went numb. They felt like sea monsters struggling on the shore. Defong and Dulé had fatal wounds. The others didn't know whether they were still alive or not. Perhaps these two warriors on Dragon Lizard's side couldn't get up again. The masked woman from the Phantom Clan had finally shown her real competence. Now, the others knew that the Phantom Clan didn't have only the mind technique to establish an alliance with Sing. Yuan Mo didn't retreat as he was told. He stayed far from the battlefield and watched the masked woman show her supernatural power. He was completely chilled. To this masked woman, he still had a beam of desire. He had tried really hard to hide it with the hope that one day they could fondle and cuddle. Anyway, he didn't dare to keep this thought anymore. He didn't dare to linger either. He sighed and said to his tribal members, "We should move now. Immediately. We can't get involved in this battle." He took the members of the Water Tribe and left the place. Finally, he understood why the Phantom Clan could become one of the 7 great clans. They had more than the enchanting technique. Shi Yan woke up. He didn't open his eyes and just used dark energy to observe the situation. The dark energy joined his soul consciousness. In that moment, he felt like he had so many eyes that could see his surroundings. Strangely, when he used dark energy to survey, the masked woman didn't realize anything even though she was really close to him. He was so surprised while trying to find a way to change this situation. Tu Shih and Yin were at third sky of a mortal realm, and they were still a distance away from the territory ancestor realm. However, this woman was like Sing at the peak of a mortal realm. They were just one step away from that realm. Tu Shih and Yin were hurt by Sing before, and now the difference between their realms had helped the masked woman subdue them. From the current situation, only the Phantom Woman was able to suffocate Tu Shih and his wife. On the other side, Sing with the divine weapon from the absolute beginning had gradually gained the upper hand. Shi Yan could see that since Sing was severely wounded, if Shi Yan struck a close blow, Sing would lose his fighting competence and he could even get killed. Anyway, Sing was cautious. Ming Hong underneath him had prepared to attack anyone who came near. Tu Shih and his wife and forefather dragon lizard were in a bad situation. They were in danger too. Changing the situation had become a tough and difficult challenge to Shi Yan. Chapter 1396 World Within World. Chapter 1396 World Within World. Dragon Lizard, Tu Shih, and his wife were suppressed by Sing and the masked woman, respectively. From the current situation, if Dragon Lizard, Tu Shih, and his wife didn't have any external help, they couldn't change the situation. Sure, Yen squeezed his brain for a solution. In the dark, the experts from the small clans were discreetly approaching and staying by the masked woman. They still thought that the masked woman was the key door to break because their main target, Shi Yan, was in her hand. The massive snow lotus was crystal-like and shining, but it was so icy. Tu Shih and his wife were confined inside and trying to break it with their best powers. The masked woman of the Phantom clan had to focus on controlling the lotus and watching Shi Yan at the same time. Her situation wasn't really good. Thus, the warriors who were self-confident still kept their eyes on her and waited for the chance to steal Shi Yan and run away within one attempt. In their eyes, Shi Yan was a meaty cauldron that they could use to understand dark energy and advance to an extreme realm, the territory ancestor realm. Shi Yan had sealed his senses and used his soul consciousness, made of dark energy, to search around. Shortly after, he found 4 alien experts like venomous snakes approaching. The 4 of them were at third sky of a mortal realm, the same realm as Tu Shih and Yin. They were the warriors with the highest realm among the onlookers, and they were also the most patient ones. They had hidden right from the start until now. Harumph! The phantom masked woman snorted as she recognized those people's intentions. Her soft body swayed like a water snake and released a soul-stirring, attractive power. Illusions of sexy ladies with bodies that could make people's noses bleed appeared, moaning with heavy breathing and going toward the 4/3 sky of immortal realm experts. At the same time, Tu Shih and his wife inside the crystal lotus suddenly gathered all of their powers and struck hard. Their energy accumulated and formed bunches of radiantly light, forcefully stabbing a petal of the lotus. The soft body of the masked woman shook. Her bright eyes turned cold as if she was finally enraged. At the same time, Shi Yan suddenly burst out his brutal, formidable energy. He swayed away from her control, quickly. A spinning fantasy boundary stone appeared and ballooned in the wind. After several seconds, it became a blank white world. That world acted like a giant hand that snatched over the masked woman and the 4 experts under her enchanting technique. The 4 of them were pulled into the new world created by the fantasy boundary stone. A white light flashed. Sure, Yin got rid of her grip. He didn't hesitate for even a beat. His energy rose again when he flung another fantasy boundary stone. The fantasy boundary stone received his god power and became a whole new world that was still a white, blank space but much bigger than the previous one. Shortly after, it had converted the world and confined the masked woman and the 4 stealthy experts. Their world was shrouded by another world. The two fantasy boundary stones had created two worlds. The bigger one covered the smaller one, and the smaller one imprisoned the masked women and four furtive experts. The two fantasy worlds had weakened the connection between the masked woman and her snow lotus. The snow lotus didn't have a continuous energy source to strengthen its imprisonment. Tu Shih and his wife finally got rid of it. They looked at Shi Yan, their eyes surprised and excited. Shi Yan gave them a slight nod and raised one finger to point at Sing. Tu Shih and Yi Yun understood immediately. They didn't say anything and turned into two light beams that headed toward Sing. Shi Yan was floating in the void, his face extremely stern. A flow of his soul consciousness seeped into the words that the fantasy boundary stones had created to find even the smallest commotion. The fantasy boundary stone could create a world in just a blink of an eye, but this world wasn't real, and it could exist for only a short time. Shi Yan could explode that world, and the energy created after the space shattered was ultimately so terrifying that even immortal realm experts couldn't stand it. However, as Shi Yan had just entered the immortal realm, he couldn't build strong barriers for his fantasy world. Thus, when he triggered the space to explode it, he couldn't really hurt her. Anyway, he calculated something else. He was waiting for the masked woman and the four experts imprisoned inside the world to break one world from the inside first. U.P. dated by novel full. Calm inside the immense, dreamy world, the phantom woman and the four-third sky of immortal realm experts looked strange when their sinister eyes observed their surroundings. Their realms were high, but Shi Yan could ambush them and confine them in this world. It was like a boat that capsized in a narrow ditch. Actually, any one of them could break the boundaries of this world. They didn't do that because they knew that the spatial explosion that was going to occur when they broke the boundary was going to be very formidable. They knew that they couldn't get out of this world intact. You guys dare compete with our Phantom Clan? The masked woman's voice was icy cold, and so were her eyes. She was releasing her soul consciousness to check the thickness of the boundary. This world was like a glass ball with spatial barriers as walls. The thicker the wall was, the harder it was to break. Once it exploded, the space shock waves created from the explosion was going to be very intimidating. She surveyed and scolded, mocking the other for as they kept silent as if they were deaf and mute. No one retorted. It was because their realms weren't as high as this masked woman. They needed to stay quiet so their mind could check the thickness of the spatial barriers. That kid is too cunning. Anyway, he's not strong enough. This spatial barrier is too thin. Dozens of seconds later, the bright eyes of the woman showed her joy. She couldn't help but smile gracefully. While laughing, her jade-like hand rose to the void. The cold energy from her brutally tore the barrier as if there were countless ice sabers. Shi Yan stayed outside the bigger world. His body shook, and then he concentrated on sending the soul consciousness into the smaller world inside. When the ice blades attacked the small world, it cracked and was about to explode. At the same time, Shi Yan triggered the bigger world outside. The warriors cultivating space power Upanishad could see the world outside like shattering glass with so many fine cracks. Boom! Boom! Two explosions happened almost at the same time. The smaller world inside was shattered by the masked woman. Pieces of broken space shot outward. Also, Shi Yan had crushed the bigger world outside and sent pieces of sharp, broken space inward. The two worlds exploded at the same time and pressed on each other. At that moment, the lethal power of the explosions rocketed several times. Boom! 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 The unceasing explosion boomed in front of Shi Yan. It was like the space had collapsed. The void cracked open. Instantly, the earth-destroying space energy fluctuated. Shi Yan was forced backward. He was frightened when he saw the shock waves when the big world and the small world exploded at the same time. Even warriors with space power Upanishad like him couldn't endure such an energy attack. If they were shrouded, there was going to be no chance to survive. Boom, 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 boom. For bodies exploded. It was like a meatball that burst. Then, so many space sabers minced them into blood and meat. Their soul altars were gone altogether. The 4 experts that wanted to use Shuryen to break through to the territory ancestor realm from their 3rd sky of immortal realm were blown up. Their host souls were all gone. Shuryen gawked and dropped his jaw as he couldn't believe his eyes. Under the world-destroying shock waves, a petal of a massive snow lotus flew around, and so many space sabers had gashed it. That lotus petal carried a naked body that could be deemed perfectly sexy. The flawless porcelain body with 2 round, ample breasts, a delicate waist, a snow-like rear, and slender thighs. She appeared with exquisite and beautiful features like a masterpiece. Instinctively, Shuryen looked at the void underneath. He found the massive snow lotus that had confined Tu Shurchi and his wife had disappeared. Yen didn't know when the masked woman had taken the snow lotus. When the 2 worlds detonated, she already had the lotus protect her from the fatal energy attack. Although her clothes and the fearsome mask were broken, she wasn't dead yet as something turned into smoke. The snow lotus withered. The woman stood in the middle of the flower, her skin like snow and her bones like ice. She was flawless, and both her body and appearance were the most magnificent in this world. However, her look was so cold, which was gazing at Shuryen. Yen felt shivers down his spine under her gaze. He felt anxious, as if he was shrouded in an endless coldness. Boom, boom, boom. Yen couldn't help but turn around to watch when more explosions could be heard. He then saw some ice sculpture exploding. Those ice sculptures were alien warriors who had a dark scheme. Their realms weren't high, though. They were frozen and then killed by the woman's wrath. They might have been murdered because they had seen something they shouldn't have. When Yen recognized something was wrong, besides Dragon Lizard, Sing, Tu Shurchi and his wife, who were engaging in a fierce battle, all the others on Dragon Lizard continent were killed. This savage woman from the Phantom clan had killed all the warriors who hadn't left the place. She had even killed a member of the Water tribe who stayed to observe and get information. Swoosh! A pure white, silky long robes shrouded the woman. Her jade-like, naked legs slowly descended in the middle of the shriveled lotus pod. Her eyes, which were filled with the coldness of an icy mountain, didn't leave Yen or blink once. The strange soul energy emitted from her eyes. Shortly after, Yen's soul altar made crack sounds. Unexpectedly, his soul altar was freezing. Just with a look, she could even freeze the soul altar. Her power Upanishad was extremely terrifying. Your face and body are perfect. I feel like I've used the luck of my 3 lives that I can still be alive after seeing your naked body. Shuddering, Yen gazed at the woman and spoke. Then he urged the power of the heaven flame. The scorching heaven flames began to burn and move around his soul altar. The cold energy in his soul was eliminated. The heaven flame continued to move around his body. He gradually resumed his normal conditions. He glared at the woman while his body became vague and invisible. The bright eyes of the phantom woman were so cold. The massive snow lotus around her dissolved and created smaller snow lotuses, which revolved like snowballs around her. She was ashen when she put on the fearsome mask one more time to cover her extremely stunning appearance. "You can't hide," muttered the masked woman. "You're tuning in to the Thunder Spear YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories."